and welcome to episode 160 of Gamers on Lost Spark podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Cheston, and joining me this week, it's the other Spark on the pod. He's back for what's known as a Burgess double. It's Mr. Stuart Burgess. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good evening, sir. A Burgess double, that makes me hungry. I immediately think of Five Guys for some reason.
It's like a Burgess double-double. That's if you do 4 episodes back-to-back, it can be a double-double.
Oh, my word. That's making me so hungry. I just need to stop the pod now and go and throw some burgers on the grill.
A double-double. Double-double, what's that? That's not Five Guys, it's not Shake Shack. It is In-N-Out. In-N-Out burger.
Oh.
It's a double-double.
I've never had it.
Double-double animal style is when they make the chips, the fries, in like animal dripping. You know, normal kind of English, fish and chip shop, but it's like animal dripping. Otherwise, it's like in vegetable oil, and that's just like, oh god, that's heavenly. That's in San Francisco.
I say, didn't you had one, didn't you? Because I remember
many times
you out there, and wasn't it Ryan McCaffrey, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember you tweeted him going, I had one animal style. It was delicious or something like that. But
it was just so lovely.
I know they did a very quick pop up over here, didn't they, last year or something like that? I remember seeing.
Did they?
Yeah, I remember seeing somewhere there was something. They did a In-N-Out pop up. They must have imported the burgers or something like that, frozen. But yeah, I remember seeing somewhere someone showing me a brochure of it In-N-Out somewhere at a restaurant. And I just could not go to it because it's always been one of those things that's like listening to a few of the American podcasts. It's like, oh, something I really want to go to is In-N-Out burger.
It's very good. It's really nice. It's like a lot of the time we have it in. I think we're about 3 now. Like we have it when we land in San Francisco. Especially we either stay around by kind of like Fisherman's Wharf area for the first couple of nights and go over to Sausalito, and then it's just like so nice. You just kind of go there and just like you've been on a plane for like 12 hours and you arrive there and just kind of go out, get an Anchor Steam, a really good beer, and then a Five Guys. It's just it's heavenly. Or the other way around. It's so good. So good.
Talking about beers, I found myself wandering around Sainsbury's the other day. One hand are IPAs and one hand the Points to Brew Instagram page.
Oh, right. It's just like, got it.
And it was just like, I think Steve put up there a few beers and it's just like, oh, there's that one and there's that one. And then I'm putting them in my trolley, and I tried to get a few from a few Tesco's when I was in London, but they had sold out. So,
no.
But I must don my cap to you, Steve. There's some very, very good beers there. I'm not sure about the blood orange and cranberry sour.
Right.
I did finish it because I think I put it on our WhatsApp group. I did finish it, and it was one of those beers that made me carry on thinking for a few hours afterwards. And I did come to the conclusion that I don't think I like sour beers.
Right.
But it was worth a try. So if you want to send me a free post envelope to my address, Steve, I will happily put it in there and send it to you.
Why did you buy more than one?
I always buy 2 just in case I like one and I can't get it again. So, but there was a couple on there which I can't. The names elude me now. I'll have to tweet them. But there was 2 on there which were in bigger cans, not the 330s, and they were both very, very nice beers. Actually, I had one before we podded. So if my words are slurry tonight, it's because I'm beard up already.
It's because of Steve. It's because of Steve. It's all
Steve.
Steve Carter's fault. That's what it is. But anyway, sir, we were podding last week. But how you been? What you been up to?
Yeah, I've had an interesting week. I did my usual running at the weekend, which was now up to 18 miles, I think it is, which nearly killed me on Saturday. But no, I had a really nice day yesterday. A bit of a daddy-daughter day, which I very rarely get. And my good lady wife works from home, and she had a meeting to go to. So I usually get a post in my diary, which is office day. And obviously, because it's a school holidays, that office day included a daughter day. So we sort of said, okay, what are we going to do? And I live in Rye down the south coast of England, and my daughter, I think it was last year, we took her to Hastings Old Town, which, I haven't been to Hastings Old Town and gone in the amusements and that since I was sort of 16 or 17.
Right.
And so we jumped in the car about 9 o'clock yesterday morning. Beautiful day, and started off with a round of crazy golf. She'd never played crazy golf before. She's 8 years old, so played a round of crazy golf, and then went on all the little amusement rides they've got there for her. You know, ended up doing the old 2p penny slots. You know, a la Tipping Point off the
Awesome.
yeah. And I'm trying to explain to her that those grabby machines will never win you anything because they don't grab things properly. And so we had a really good day.
But she went on them anyway.
Went on them anyway and spent it out fine.
She was like, give me more money, old man. Give me more money.
It was almost to the point where it's just like I wanted to go up to the woman and just went, look, make my life simple. How much for one of those bears? Because I know I'm not going to get one, and I know I'm going to spend a fortune. So I set Molly a £4 limit. That was it. She didn't get it in £4. 20p a go. She didn't get it in £4. Then it's not worth it. And so we did that, and we had fish and chips on the seafront, obviously followed by ice cream, and then we ended up on the way back. We parked in the shopping centre in Hastings because I like to park my car in big parking spaces where no one hits me, and we ended up in M&S, and I don't know whether you noticed, M&S are doing these little food collectibles, so they're like little shopping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So James, you'll be very, very proud of this. I was at the end of the counter after spending £60 in M&S, teaching my daughter to, is it Fertile? When you fill the packets.
I think that's what the Thomases call it, yes.
So I was describing to her how my good friend James and his lovely wife, girlfriend, I'm not sure, does this with Lego characters, and we were sitting there doing this with the cashier in M&S as well. We were feeling the package. She's going, oh, I think that's a soup, and Molly's like, I've got 2 soups. She goes, well, that one's squidgy, so that one's probably Percy Pigs. So she opened all 3, and she got all 3 that she hadn't had before. So you had an absolutely ecstatic 8-year-old. So I am passing on the religion of that to other people to carry through history.
The thirtling mantle, so to speak. It's quite funny because whenever I shop in M&S, they keep asking me if I want those, and I'm like, no, I'm not allowed. I was like, no, my wife won't allow me to have those. She's like, they're like, you can have 3, and I'm like, I'm not allowed any. You know, it's just like. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? And I was just like, because they have like a whole selection, don't they? Like a trolley and everything. They're getting big on it.
There's 25. I think it's 25 to collect. But the thing is, anybody listening to this podcast, obviously, if you're not driving, don't do it. But just Google, because go on eBay. And people are selling them on eBay, and a full set is going for £250 on eBay.
What? I should have said yes then. Every time I go, oh man, I've been doing this for weeks.
£250, I noticed, and I was sort of like, you know, I don't often go on eBay unless it's something I can't get on like Amazon or somewhere else, and when you go on there, or sometimes we'll email you saying you looked at this is about to end, and literally one came up, I think it was Saturday, and it goes, oh, you've looked at this, or you might be interested, this is about to end in 5 hours. It's currently £195. I love my daughter, but not that much. I'd rather spend it on an Xbox controller.
Teach her the ways of gaming. Teach her the ways of gaming.
Exactly.
That's incredible. I didn't know that. Wow. If only I had paid some attention. All those times I have just brushed it aside and
But I got to say actually, it is actually a good for a marketing point of view. It's obviously going to work for them, but it's actually quite nice because you get some of the supermarkets. I mean, Sainsbury's for the last few years has done Lego cards. And they're fine, but they are cards. They're not like the Panini stickers that you stick in a book. So they always fall out. You have loads of them hanging around the house, and it's just a bit like, it's just a waste. And so but at least with this, you know, okay, Molly's still of the young innocent 8 or nearly 9, where she'll set up a little shop in the lounge, and she'll you know, we can buy off of her with tokens or fake money or cashless, contactless payments with my watch. She's got a Stripe machine. No, I'm joking. But no, it's actually really, really good. But I did notice the other day that Sainsbury's are doing a Marvel thing, which looks a little bit top Trumpsy now.
Oh right.
Yeah, I haven't been in there this week, but I saw someone on Facebook go, I now understand where Spider-Man come from, or something like that, and they showed a picture, and it had like strength 9, agility 5, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I think they're sort of going down a top Trump sort of thing now. So just trying to get you there to spend
the money. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Because I don't really go to, apart from M&S, if it's like Waitrose, Ocado or Sainsbury's, it's always delivery.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, like especially when they had those Lego cards, and they would like turn up and I'm like, yeah, and where's my cards? Where's the cards? Because you can imagine the driver going, right, there's 8 cards for these guys. Yeah. I'm not gonna, I'll put them in my pocket. Yeah. I was like, where's my cards? And then they kind of reach deep into the pocket and give them to you. They're like, oh, have you got kids then? And I'm like, no, don't have any kids. Yeah. Just give me those cards.
Yeah. I really hope your son likes them. No, they're for me.
Nicola just shouts on the back, he will, don't worry. My son is 40 odd.
Yeah, he's so happy.
So that's just so cool. That sounds like an awesome day. Who won the Crazy Golf?
We weren't allowed to keep score.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
It was one of the first rules that were laid down that this was a practice because she'd never done it before. This was a practice round, and actually, hats off to the guys on Hastings Seafront. I mean, the classic Crazy Golf has been there ever since I was a kid, and they've now got like a pirate and I can't think of it is now, an adventure golf and a pirate golf next to it as well. But if you go there. If you go to, I think before 12, you pay for one game and you get another game free. She said no. She said we're not going to score because I've never played it before. So we went round and I was saying to her, look, Molly, you got to wait for the ball to start. This is how you got to hold. This is how you've got to hold the club and all this lot. And then we got to the end and Molly said, I think that was definitely a draw. I think I might have won actually. I went, okay, well let's call that. Let's say you won then. Just do you want another game? No, I'm quitting while I'm ahead.
Oh, superb. She's a smart girl. She's a smart girl.
Yeah, when your daughter tells you this at 8, you've just got to stand there and laugh and go, oh God.
She probably said, I think I won, and you're like, actually, I've been keeping score. And you were.
Oh no, there was a few ones. I said, do you want to take a mulligan because you're like on 15 now? At least you get 11 if you take a mulligan. I think it is. So no, it was a really good day, and really good day, and then came back and went for a run, powered by fish and chips.
Nice.
But what about yourself? What have you been up to?
I think the only good big news yesterday picked up a new car. Woo-hoo! So I picked up my new car yesterday. So I was so excited. Actually, say that the garage that I was at, the mini garage, we picked up a new Mini Clubman, and I was at the mini garage, and so I've been because I've been calling them a lot and doing lots of configuration before I bought it. I've got to know kind of like most of the people in the mini garage. So when I got there, the guy who was the sales guy, who's been really helpful, like we're really good, I'd highly recommend them. They were he said, he goes, I have to tell you guys, we've never had anyone this excited about picking up a new car. And I was just like, yeah, I get that a lot. I'm just like, yeah. And he was just like, honestly, he goes, you've actually got us all buzzing here today. He said, we all can't wait for you to come down and pick up the new car. And it was just, and when they brought it into the garage to like present it and stuff like that, they were all just looking at me instead of looking at the car. And I was just like, so Nicola was at work and I spent 3 hours there just chatting about tech, gaming, VR, minis, everything. It was just so much fun. And we were just there. And I got a message from Nicola going, you got a message from Nicola going, are you going to come and pick me up in the new car? Because I got to pick her up from work. And she was like, are you going to pick me up? And it was like, so I went there at 3. And I went there at 2:30. And at 5:30, I'm like, I'm just leaving now. Like this. There was just, they were waving me off as I pulled out. And unfortunately, because Tunbridge Wells being Tunbridge Wells, the traffic was terrible. Like Nicola kind of walked halfway to me, and then I picked her up and we went for a quick drive. But the traffic was so bad that we just decided to kind of like drive home and then kind of play the game of trying to get it on the drive. So we just decided to do that instead of like so the car's only done 14 miles at the moment. It's really cool because compared to my other car, it's this one's quite kind of high tech because I've now got Apple CarPlay. I've got an app for my car, so I keep checking my app. All today, I just kept checking my app just to kind of see if I've done any more miles. Obviously, I haven't. It was just like, is the car okay? Is it still locked? I can set the temperature in the car. So a cold morning or a hot day, like it's going to be at the weekend, I can actually climate control the car, have it nice and frosty for when I'm going to jump in, all from the app. So which is really cool, so you could lock it from anywhere. So it's just really nice. It's just so I can't wait. So Saturday we're going to go up to the Cotswolds to just kind of have a run, just take the car for a run early in the morning, and then we're off next week. So we're going to do lots of kind of like day trips out. We're going over to Oxford for a couple of nights and stuff like that. So it's going to be so much fun. So I can't wait to get in. It drives just like a dream. It's so lovely. It's kind of one of those cars, because we were looking at many cars because we needed a new car, but we share a drive, so it's a bit weird. So we've got a big-ish drive, but we have to allow our neighbour to get across our drive, so that kind of restricts us for length. So it really did kind of, and then we got to a point where my nephew Will, he's mad on minis, he absolutely loves minis, and he's got a brand new one, which looks amazing, and we were just like, no, we really like this. It's really cool. And we had like a 24-hour test drive, and it fitted on the drive. That was what we'd had the test drive for, just to see if it fit on the drive and the neighbour could get in and out. And it was just like really nice. We were like, why don't we get one of these? And we're like, okay. So we ended up just like kind of getting one, and then we had to wait, in pure Spark form, we had to wait for it to be pre-ordered for it to be released. So I was there on release day. It actually doesn't get released, I think, until next week, but we're there on release day. And so Nicola was just like, that's just so typical you. It's just like, she was like, you can't do anything without pre-ordering something new that's coming out. So it just really made me chuckle.
Normally you're waiting for the DHL driver to deliver it though, aren't you? So
Exactly. Tracking him around Tunbridge Wells as he's got 45 deliveries. I'm like, on first name terms with the was it who was the I can't remember their name now. What's the name of that company? The big one. DPD.
Oh, DPD.
Yeah, on first name terms with DPD guy.
Yeah. I'm not very happy with FedEx today. They were supposed to deliver something yesterday, and then because it was an import from America, they wouldn't deliver it without me paying customs on it first.
So
I paid customs on it, and then like, okay, cool, it's scheduled for tomorrow by 6 p.m, and it's just like, yep, as we pod it is 7:53, and I still haven't seen them, and it's just like, they better turn up tomorrow, because I wanted to use it this weekend. It's just a bit of an upgrade to the car, and I wanted to do it this weekend because it being bank holiday weekend, being nice weather, and it's just like, they've not turned up, so it's just like spending my life waiting for delivery drivers. It's
just the most annoying thing, and especially I think like FedEx and also Hermes as well. They are so bad on tracking as well. You kind of look, and it gives you some aloof description of where the package is. It's like somewhere. Oh yeah, we don't know.
Mine's still got on it. Out for delivery today, Thursday the 22nd, as we pod. Will be delivered by 6 p.m. and its last known location was released from customs at Stansted. And it's like, okay, where I think it's what did I have the other day? I think it was it was one of them the other day. I'm trying to think it was now, and it was like Miguel is currently on drop number 3, and you on drop number 64. We estimate it will be there, and it was like, yeah, that's what I want, because I know looking at a map, Miguel is in Tunbridge Wells. There's no way he's going to get from Tunbridge Wells to Robertsbridge and do 15 or 20 deliveries in 25 minutes. So actually, I can pop to the shop and get some milk, or I can do something rather than sitting around waiting all day. So, so you're enjoying the new car. We test drove a Mini when we bought my wife's new car this year. We nearly went for the same car, but we just in the end with Litland we decided it was just a bit too small for us. But no, we had it for. I think we had it 24, might have been 48 hour, and Kate drove it back. It was from Ashford, we were, and it was it was a really nice little car to drive around, really nippy. I nearly bought a Mini Club van a few years ago, right, because I was doing a lot of work in London, and I just wanted a smaller van that I could park on the streets of Knightsbridge and places like that, and they're quite nice. And even when I see one now, there's a few I've seen around Tunbridge Wells, and I think there was a Baker's had one. They just look really classic. They look really nice, really sort of like a little bit quirky. So it'd be interesting to see the new ones.
I just love it. It's the the Clubmans, they're kind of longer. So we've got, for the first time, we've actually got back seats. So we haven't had back seats for like 11 years. So it's really bizarre. So instantly, Nick was like, right, we're going to go to IKEA. So she was like, we're going to pop to, so when we're off next week on holidays, she goes, oh, one day we'll pop to IKEA. And for me, I don't mind going to IKEA because that now means that I can go to Shake Shack in Lakeside. So I'm like, yep, I don't mind as long as I get a Shake Shack. You know, I'm just so we're going to, because it's got the big old double doors. It's quite big, you know, it's quite wide. I'm 6 foot and I got more headroom where I'm sitting down than I do in my old car. My old car, when I kind of have spiky hair, you can feel it on the roof. You know, you can feel it touching the roof. Yeah. You know, now it's just like it's such a comfortable drive. So no, I cannot wait to take it to the Cotswolds at the weekend. So it should be good fun.
Excellent.
I was trying to think what else I did. I think the only other thing was I watched Men in Black International at the weekend. So what's that?
Any good? That flashed up on my Kaleidoscope today to say, did you realise, Stuart, you can order Men in Black International, you can buy it, and I just looked at it and went, no, that's definitely a wait till it comes out on Sky Movies one, I think.
Yeah. I think I gave it 1.5 stars on Letterboxd.
Oh, that good.
Yeah. It was kind of one of those ones where, you know, I really like Chris Hemsworth, and I really like the woman who was also in who played the Valkyrie, you know, in Ragnarok, because she's in it as well. So whose name escapes me at the moment, and I really like her as well. And Emma Thompson, I think her name's Thompson. And so I really like those two together. In Ragnarok, I loved those two together, and I was just like, this, you know, it's gonna be good. It's Men in Black, and it's this, and it's just. At one point, it just doesn't feel like a Men in Black movie at all. You know, it could just be anything with those two. You know, it really kind of feels like that. And it was one of those ones that it was Saturday night, we just decided to watch it. I think it was either that or that new movie that I kind of gave Nicola that kind of Sophie's Choice again, where I was like, right, we're going to watch Men in Black International or the horror movie based on the Banana Splits TV show. Which one would you like to watch? So obviously, she was backed into the corner to watch Men in Black, and I'm going to watch the Banana Splits movie on my own over the week next week, which is
Tessa
bizarre.
Thompson it is.
Tessa Thompson,
Agent
there you
M,
go.
Tessa Thompson. Yeah, thank you.
So,
thank you, IMDb.
But that's a weird movie. There's basically a Banana Split. If you IMDb Banana Splits the movie, it's brand new, 2019. It's come out this year, and it's basically the Banana Splits TV show, which you would remember from when you were a kid, same as me. And I thought, they're making a movie of Banana Splits. This is fantastic. You know, watched it on Apple, so I didn't get the mature warning before. But it turns out it's a horror movie.
Oh, yeah, no.
So people go and see the Banana Splits being recorded, and then obviously it turns into a hack and slash movie. So I said to Nicola, you either got Men in Black International or this Banana Splits movie, and she was still
the cover of something, Banana Split maybe, holding.
It's one of the Banana Splits.
Is it holding an axe? It sort of gives that away.
Yes. Well, I didn't see that. I was just so excited about Banana Splits because I bloody loved Banana Splits when I was a kid. And I was like, look, it's Banana Splits. And I must have ignored all of the kind of scary warnings and all of that sort of stuff. And I was like, look, it's Banana Splits. And it was just like, that was very, very scary. So,
of course, the most important thing I forgot to tell you about, because I've stupidly blocked it out of my mind, was I had last week, obviously I'd come back from my holiday, and I really, really had one of those weeks where I couldn't be bothered to do anything. So a few things went in certain ways, which meant I was at the office, and rather than going to London or whatever. So I sort of did 3 Marvel movies in 4 days.
Super.
So
cool. What ones did you watch?
So I did the first day I watched Ragnarok. I watched Ragnarok the first day, and then obviously then went on to Black Panther, and then did Avengers: Infinity War.
Right.
So I have now got, I've got Captain Marvel, or Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, and then Endgame.
And then Endgame.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I did, literally did one day. One day I did Ragnarok, and then I went to work the following day. I think I had to go to London. And then the day after, I did I got there at sort of at 9:30, worked through till about 1 o'clock, and then sort of looked at my watch. And by this point, I'd already gone into the den room and looked at Kaleidoscope and gone, right, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes. So if I start watching that about 1:30, I've still got time to get home, go for a run, and then have dinner, put Molly to bed, and have dinner. So I crammed in 6.5 hours of Marvel last week.
Fantastic. Ragnarok's such an awesome movie, isn't it? It's such a great movie. It's such a palate cleanse, and it's just such a great movie. It's on Sky at the moment, and even it's one of those ones a bit like kind of Into the Spideyverse, where you'll just see it on, and then you'll just end up watching wherever it is right now. You'll just end up watching just the rest of it because it's just such a Jeff Goldblum's amazing in it. It's just like everyone's just so good. It's just so good. It's such a great movie.
I think Spideyverse is a classic example where I haven't watched it yet. I've got it on the den room, but I haven't watched it yet. So when I'll happily now sit down and watch Ragnarok and Black Panther again at home on my tiny 65-inch TV. But yeah, I mean just the beginning, right at the beginning where Thor is hanging from the chains. And the creature is given the talk about how he's going to take Ragnarok and he's going to kill the planet and all this lot, and Thor's just spinning round and he's sort of like the camera's focusing on the demons and he's big into his speech and all of a sudden you hear it going hold on a second, and then the camera pans back and you see Thor just singing around, and as he comes back and faces him he goes, okay, go on, you can continue now, and it's like, okay, as I was saying, what I'm gonna do is but yeah, I mean, I think I enjoyed Black Panther. I think I actually, in a different way, I liked Ragnarok better. Oh
yeah, Ragnarok's much higher in the MCU. In my little countdown on Letterboxd, MCU Ragnarok is much higher than Black Panther for me. I think
of all the ones I've been trying to cram in since the demo's been finished, the one I really enjoyed was Doctor Strange, and I really didn't think I was going to enjoy it. But I just like I don't know, I just like that comedy aspect. I think it's a bit like which was the one with the character in it? Is with the characters rocks? That's Ragnarok, isn't it? The big character's got the squeaky voice and is all made out of rock.
Mick, no, not Mick. Kurt, indeed. Who is? I think I told you last week. I think he's actually voiced by the director.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, but
Takeya Waititi. I always butcher his name.
I think I quite like that comedy element, so I quite liked Doctor Strange's jacket, his cape, and then the fact that they then brought that through into Infinity War as well, in a few scenes where in the final fight the cape comes into it as well. So I just think it's good. It's I'm gonna try and get the other ones in by the end of the month or something like that when I can now, but no, I do enjoy them. It'd be interesting to see.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like I say, you've got Captain Marvel. So you haven't seen Captain Marvel, have you? You haven't seen Ant-Man and Wasp, and they're really good movies. And obviously, Endgame is just amazing. I think since Endgame's come home, I think I've watched it probably about 3.5 times now.
Yeah.
And it's just like I just love it. It's such a great movie. It's long, but it's just so it doesn't feel like it. It just doesn't. Even when you've watched it like that many times, it just does not feel like it. You just kind of. It's just such a great movie. Such a great movie. Anyway, before I start spoiling it, Stu, what have you been playing this week?
I've mainly been jumping around on Vigor again, and I think. The weekend I jumped into it and played a little bit, but we were busy at the weekend. Quite often I only get a chance to sort of play sometimes at the weekend in the evenings or whatever. So I've been trying to watch a bit of TV in the evenings, trying to watch a bit more Stranger Things because I've sort of let that lapse a little bit. But so I jumped back into Vigor. Still really enjoying it. Still tending to my garden. I noticed that you've jumped in. I noticed that Daz had also jumped in as well. I noticed the other day he was on the leaderboards. But yeah, still enjoying it. Having some mixed feelings on it the last few days. I think it's gone 1.0 now. I mean, we'll get on to it.
It's free to play now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's free to play. So, has that changed it at all?
It seems to be a hell of a lot more buggy.
Really?
Yeah, I've been kicked out of games a couple of times now.
More people playing it, maybe? More people kind of jumping onto the servers, causing them to overload? Or
there does seem to be... So if you paid for it, you got the Founders Pack, as we discussed last week. And in the Founders Pack, you sort of got like a bit of a tartany sort of like jacket. So you know that the only people who got that jacket were people who paid the £16 and were founders. And there's a lot less people in those jackets now. So loading time is quite quick. I think at one point last week, I played like Friday morning up at the Den room. And it took a good 2 or 3 minutes to. I was kicking one into play, then I was going to the shooting range and playing some shooting range because I knew it was going to take 3 or 4 minutes to do. But the other day it seemed a lot quicker. Some of the visuals have changed, and it's I don't know. It just seemed a bit glitchy. I was trying to shoot someone the other day, and I must have unloaded 70 bullets into them, and they carried on running towards me and ended up killing me with a knife. And it's just like, okay, not really happy about that. So, not rage quit, but sort of thought, I'm not playing this, sort of thing. So, yeah. But no, really, really enjoying it, and I'm hoping to sort of jump back in this weekend a little bit more. But it is one of those games that you can sort of just jump into. Loading time is atrocious. It takes so long to load at the beginning. It's a good 4 minutes before you get into playing a game. And it won't hold your place. So even if you come out back to your shelter, which I think my shelter's now 2/3 complete, probably a little bit more. And if I quit from there and come out, and then I go, come out and then switch the Xbox off, and then if I went to go back into it, like I could do with say Forza or something like that, it won't take me back to my shelter. I have to go right back to the beginning, wait for the loading screen to come up, wait for the shelter to load. And so it does sort of put you off a little bit because you think, oh God, I know it's going to take me 5 or 6 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes by the time I've tended to my guard and emptied my rat trap and all that lot before I even get into playing a game. And by that time, it's not something you can really sort of squeeze in quickly.
Yeah.
Did you jump? Yeah. I noticed you jumped in. Did you get to play any or?
I did. I jumped in on Sunday. I jumped in Sunday morning, so I realise now that I need something else on Forza, because I've kind of done everything. The achievements that I haven't checked off now are just kind of maybe a session one day, but they're little kind of finicky ones, So I was just looking around. I was like, oh right, yeah. Stuart was talking about Vigor, and I think I downloaded it, the trial when. So I had a quick play of that on Sunday. Gives out achievements like toffee. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's just like you've loaded up Vigor, bing. Yeah. You've run forward. It was just like so. I think I sent you some goodies because I had some stuff and I sent them to you, and it was like here's an achievement for doing that. And I was like, thank you very much. Yeah. I didn't. So I just highlighted your name. There's a pulley system. There's like a pulley system. I sent you some supplies. So they were like, so got an achievement for that. I was like, I like this game. It keeps giving out achievements. Yeah. So I jumped into 2 rounds. Yeah. Had 2 rounds, and it was really good. The first one I didn't see anybody, but I managed to get lots of stuff. I was just going in, collecting lots of stuff, and then I ran out. I think I chickened. Yeah. I think just as the drop came, I was like, I'm going, I've got so much stuff. Because I didn't pay the insurance, because you can pay little extra coins for insurance. So I didn't pay that, so I ran out. And then the second time, I had a bit more of a fight, managed to kind of take out some people and then just kind of get out. And that was just so much fun. Upgraded my shelter a little bit. Yeah. Got a tarp roof and all of that sort of malarkey. It was really good fun. It was really good. I thought, you want to come over
to the Burgess household? We've tiles now. We've got tiles.
Wow.
We've got tiles and repaired
You're
windows.
You're so fancy.
I'm going for new
repaired windows.
I'm going for new windows and new doors now. But no, it is good. I mean, I think I said last week, I inadvertently found myself underneath the drop. So, literally grabbed it at one point and then went running and screaming for the closest exit and managed to get out of it. But ever since that, you can go to... There's 2 things you can go to. There's... I think it's all 3. One of them is a tower you can go to, which shows you where everybody else is on the map. That's really useful. I think if you're close to it when you start playing, go to it, because you assume that there's 12 people on that map. Because 12 people have started, because you see it at the beginning. But if you go to that tower and then you go find everybody else, it will actually show you how many people are actually on that map. Because it doesn't come up saying, such and such has quit. So I think I was having a really good loot and I was about to leave, and I found myself right next to this tower, and I just went, okay, how many people there? And there was 2 people, and they were the other side of the map. Now it doesn't take that long to get there, and I'm like,
No.
Okay, I'm going to do a couple more houses, and then that point the drop came in, and I'm like, they're going to go for the drop, so I'm just going to stay over here. But yeah, quite often I'll go in and do maybe 3 or 4 minutes, go into a house, get some really good loot. I managed to crack a safe the other day, which is the first time I did that, and then quickly skedaddle out. So no, I've been really, really enjoying it. And then one of the other things you can do is you can go into a comm station which tells you exactly where the crate is going to land. So you get a big circle which says this is the area it's going to land, but it will actually tell you the exact point on the map that it's going to land as well. So no, it's been really, really good. I've really, really enjoyed it. Otherwise, you talking about Forza, I did actually jump back into Lego Forza. Right. I just fancied something different, and I jumped in there and did a few bits and pieces. Unlocked the barn find. Got the barn find, which I won't say what it is for anybody who's not played it. But yeah, unlocked the barn find, which was good. Went to go onto story mode, and then I just thought, nah, I've had my fill. Played it for about an hour and a half, and I just sort of thought, I'm sort of over it now. I'll go back in at some point, I think, but I'm sort of over that now. I want something else. I looked at Need for Speed this week because obviously that's out in November. I might jump into that, although I was really disappointed by last year's one. But yeah, so no, that's those things. And then the other one I suppose was I woke up this morning and an email popped into my e-box saying a pre-order for a new Gears of War game had landed on the Apple Store. So I thought, oh yeah, Gears pop. Everybody's sniggering, like, it's not a true game. But I thought, what?
It has achievements. That means it is a true game.
Oh, mate, I tell you, I think I've gone top of the leaderboard now based on the 130 achievements I've got today in Gears Pop.
Nice.
And I have been playing it a little bit too much at work. Probably played it in all about an hour and 10 minutes, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. So a good session, sit on the sofa at night with a beer in your hand, play some Gears Pop. 120, 125 achievements easy.
Nice.
I've really enjoyed it. It's actually it's just a top-down tactical game. You're playing with a matchmaker. You'll be a matchmate to another person. You link your Xbox Live to them, and you can see actually the person you're playing against. If they've got the little Xbox symbol next to them, it means they've linked. And actually, when you play the Xbox people, you've got to be a bit more careful because they do tend to be quite good. But it's a classic sort of strategy game. You play, you upgrade your characters. The characters are obviously from Gears of War, so you've got Marcus, you've got some of the other sort of more alien type creatures. I've just unlocked. Is it Cats, the female character?
Right.
Yeah. I've just unlocked.
Yeah, the big one from Gears of War 5.
Yeah, I've just unlocked her, and you basically have 2.5 minutes. You've both got. So imagine it's a bit like Mario Tennis in respects of you've got like a tennis court layout. So they're at the top, and they've got 2 gun towers, and then they've got a tower in the middle, which is a person. Then you've got your same at the bottom, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 stations, I think, between your hide cover stations. And then what you do is you just basically pick your characters. You throw a character out. Then if you throw out too many characters, you can't throw out any more until your bar goes up a little bit. So you do have to tactically throw people out, and then every I haven't timed how long it is, but maybe 2 or 3 in a game you'll get. I can't think what they call it now, but you'll basically get like an apocalypse move where you can throw out like a devastating sort of like load horde or something like that. So you tactically have to put that. So sometimes you'll go, okay, I'll put that up by their base because I know that will take their base out. But there's a good chance that that other person's got theirs as well. So if you quickly throw yours down and they don't throw theirs down, they might throw theirs right next to yours and wipe out your your progress. But yeah, every game's 2.5 minutes. Some of them are very easy, some of them are very tactical and hard. If you're drawing after 2.5 minutes, then you basically have a sudden death. So first tower down, and then just like it was whilst you were Skyping in, I played for 2.5 minutes, and then the extra time, and then we still draw. So yeah, I've really liked it. It's really, really good. There is that mechanism for you to spend cash. So far, I haven't. But I can quite easily see people spending money on it. Easily see people spending money on it.
Yes, because when you log in, you get like a loot crate, don't you? I mean, I watched the Xbox Mixer stream, the Gamescom Mixer stream, and I think for watching that live, you get some special stuff. So I got a message on Xbox Live saying your Gears Pop crate is ready for like watching on via Mixer.
Typical. But you have the one time I actually didn't watch it on Mixer, there was something useful on there. Great.
Yes, but I have to log in. You have to log in, so it was like So it was just like, thank you for watching. Your Gamescom Mixer Pot of Gears Pop pack will appear, so you can say collect packs when you log into Gears Pop. But as you know, Stu, that's the one thing that's eluded me today. I haven't been able to log into Gears Pop.
I can't believe that, because I saw on the WhatsApp group there was a couple people playing this morning, and I had the same message as you, but that was when I was trying to link my Xbox Live account, and then it went straight on. But yeah, I mean, I've played it. I played it at the office just briefly. Had a couple of games whilst I was waiting for something to print. Because this is going back to Vigor. This is what I quite like about this, is that it is something that I could quite easily pull out the phone now, play a match. I can go straight in, and I'm in a match within 30 seconds, if that, minute. No, not even, 30 seconds. Yeah. So it's the sort of thing that whilst you're waiting for something, you can quickly go in and play a game. You match make a game. You can go, after a game finishes, it goes, do you want to play another one? So you go, yes. And I think it's just been really, really good. But I've played it at the office. I played it, say, when I was having a coffee, my lunch and that on site today. And then I played it at home here. So I've played it on 4G and Wi-Fi, and I've had no issues whatsoever. So I'm not sure what's going on. Apart from, I know you said you would do it on the iPad. So I don't know whether there's an issue with the iPad. I'm not sure.
No, I was trying to do it on my iPhone. So it was on my iPhone, right. iPhone XS, so I was just like, and for some reason, I just cannot. I even deleted it. So I deleted it and deleted my account. So I had to go through the tutorial again. And then it still did the same thing. So I just deleted it. So I was just like, fine, I'm gonna stop, keep going in and trying to just log in to Xbox Live. So I just deleted the app. So is it always online? Is there any offline stuff that you can play? Is there any like practice mode or anything like that? Or is it all online?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna fire it.
Don't open that app.
Fire it up
Don't
now,
open that.
So if we go quiet, all of a sudden,
this is the last podcast that Stuart Burgess will be on.
Sorry, I was waiting. No, so there you go. I'm in now. So there is versus, there is boot camp, there is practice, and there's horde. So the versus mode is exactly that. It basically is a straight on player on player. Boot camp, I think, is where you do tactical challenges and bits and pieces like that. Honestly, I've not been into that yet. Practice is practice, so I would imagine that's where you're probably playing a bit of AI. Because one thing I did have a few issues with today was if the signal dropped out, like if the Wi-Fi had a bit of a spat, then it didn't work. So I could imagine that if you're on the train to London, for instance, and you go through a tunnel, you don't want to be playing on the train. Let's put it that way. Horde, if I go into Horde, it comes up going, not a crew. You must be in a crew to play Horde. So I need to look into that a little bit. I need to probably make a crew of people up. But yeah, I mean, it's really good. I mean, there's the shop on there, so you can buy your bits and pieces. You can upgrade your characters. You can obviously buy your loot crates, for want of a better word. You can buy your crystals to unlock things quicker. So yeah, I mean, hey, look, if you want 550 crystals, it's $4.99, and then you can convert that to 1,000 coins, and that will allow you to upgrade your characters. And then when you go into your pins, you've got like little pins which are your characters. So if I click on that one, for instance, that one is the shepherds. How many you've got, what they're good against, what they're not good against, and you basically create a crew of 8 characters, and then I've got another 7 characters below that. But then I've got another 4, 8, 12, 24 characters I've not even unlocked underneath that. So you sort of create your team, and you go in a battle, and when you come out of the battle you get rewarded coins, you get rewarded loot crates. So you can I've upgraded everybody so far. I've got new characters and I've not paid a penny. However, I've got an upgrade for Marcus, and I need 4,000 coins to upgrade Marcus to the next level. So at the moment I've got about 200 coins, but I could go and buy those coins quite easily for $4.99. So that's where the mechanic of it is, obviously. But you could go into it and play it on a freebie basis, but you may well find you come up against people who are quite happily will pay to upgrade their character.
Of course. Yeah. You could come across someone who's gone, right, I'm all in on this, but, and I want those Chivos.
But it does seem to be that so far my matchmaking matches have been quite equal. If I've been level 4 on something, I've come up against one person who was level 8. And that was a complete whitewash. But so far, I would say a good 80-20 of the matches have been pretty damn even. And I've sort of gone in for a bit of a 50-50, won, lost one sort of thing. But no, it's really good. I would recommend persisting with it and trying to download it. Maybe try and get on it when you're not in the house or something like that. Or because they say, have you tried restarting your iPhone, just rebooting it, doing a factory?
I have indeed. Yeah, I deleted it.
Yeah.
Restarted my iPhone, came off of my Wi-Fi, reinstalled it, came off my Wi-Fi, went in, and it gave me the same error. I did notice that today, because I had a quick look on Xbox status, Xbox Live status. I did notice that Xbox Live status was red at some point today. So there was. So maybe it's just lots of people jumping in. It's day one. Yeah. So it could just be so. But like I say, I've deleted it at the moment, and I thought I'll go back in later and have a look. It was annoying me. Yeah. Keep going back in, going, right, I'm going to do this, and then it's just like, nope. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
As I say, there certainly must be a lot of people on it, because I say I've had no issues, and I say when I go into matchmaking, I am going in there 5 seconds or whatever, and it immediately comes up saying you're playing someone. It never goes trying to find someone. It's never done that once. Where obviously it's a bigger game, but games like Vigor, you could be sitting, as I said, 2, 3, 4 minutes waiting for a team to be put together. But no, definitely worth looking at. It's probably not something I will play at home if I've got the opportunity, obviously, to spark up the Xbox or the PlayStation or whatever. But it's definitely something to play out and about. Fill that gap before xCloud arrives.
Yes, absolutely. We are just like counting down the months, the days, the weeks until that. Because that would just be, oh my goodness, I won't even get into that. So have you been playing anything else?
No, that's it really. That's all I've done. I've tried to, I downloaded Devil May Cry, which we'll get onto. And there's a few things I had to flit around with, but I haven't had a huge amount of time this week, so that's mainly it. But what about yourselves? Have you been getting wet at all?
I've been slaying the Spire. Of course, I've been slaying the Spire. So I've been jumping into Slay the Spire. Now that it's on Xbox, so it's on Game Pass. So Slay the Spire. I think we were talking about it last week, and I think it was live as of podding. I think it was. We were so. Jumped in to Slay the Spire and see what it's like on the big screen.
I'm scared to jump in. I'm scared to jump in after seeing you and Thomas at the weekend both saying you were sitting in bed playing it. I'm like, this has got just time written all over it. and it's like I don't have time at the moment. I'm not going to get it running because I don't want. I downloaded it, but I don't want to get into it so much that it takes over my life. Unlike Gears Pop.
I think it was Sunday where I was playing it downstairs. I needed to. It was so funny. I for the new car coming, I've got a tree stump in my drive at the moment where there used to be a tree and it was taken down. So I was like, right, I've got it. So I went to B&Q on the Saturday, bought a saw, and I was like, right, Sunday morning I'm going to play a little bit of Slay the Spire, and then I'm going to saw that tree stump. And I lasted about 5 minutes, and I realised that I'm not going to saw that tree stump. I'm going to get someone around or get a big saw, with like 2 handles, and then Dudley Do ride it or something. But I was downstairs in the movie room. I was playing Slay the Spire on Xbox, and then Nicola kind of woke up, came downstairs, so I made her a cup of tea, and I said, go back to bed, I'll bring you up some breakfast and tea. And as I went up, I just grabbed my Switch, and so I was playing on Xbox, finished playing on Xbox, went upstairs, she was watching Gardener's World, and then I just sat there with my Switch. So I just literally went from Xbox to Switch on Slay the Spire. I wish it was the same characters, but it's still just so much fun. And on the Switch, it's fantastic. I had a bit of a frustrating day today at work, and I just kind of, when I finished, I just kind of went downstairs and just sat there and played a game of Slay the Spire. It only lasted I've got through 1 or 2 acts, but it was just it was really nice. It was really just kind of just centers me. It just kind of really does relax you. But for some strange reason, call it luck, I'm doing better on the Xbox than I am on the Switch. So on the Xbox, I've now got to Act 3. I still haven't finished it like James. James has finished it multiple times, and he's killing me because I think the first night I was beating James. I think it was like the Friday. There's a leaderboard on the Xbox, and I was beating James, and I stupidly posted to our WhatsApp group that I was in front. Of course, when I checked again, some 12 hours later, James had doubled my score and was sitting smugly at the top of the leaderboard. So where he should be, and so I'm just really, I just can't. It's funny that you say that. I was talking to my brother-in-law, and he was like, "Oh, I've been playing some games with my brother-in-law. My nephew's gets that MO," and he was like, "Oh," he goes like, "Do you want to do a game?" And I was like, "I'm podding tonight." Yeah, I said, and he goes, "Well, I might jump into Slay the Spire after what you're saying to it." I said, "Do it. You'll love it." And I've just got a message. He just messaged me via Xbox Live. It's just flashed up on my phone, going, "I'm already addicted." So it's just like, so I've got another one. On Slay the Spire, which was just like.
Pod. Is it achievement friendly? Are you getting achievements on the Xbox?
No.
Or is it hard? Or
you are getting achievements, so there are achievements, but the achievements are quite hard. Right. He's my brother-in-law Brad. He's a bit of achievement hunter. He's a real completionist of games. Now, I've never seen someone kind of be that kind of completion. He is just, it's a fine art the way that he plays games.
Well, worse than Nicola.
And no, yeah, exactly. It runs in their family, I tell you. But he's even worse. And I just said to him, I said, be careful. I said, because there's some tough achievements in there. Luckily, there's one achievement where you finish the end of the act boss with 1 health left, and by fluke that happened to me, and I got that achievement. Yeah. But all the achievements that I'm popping are all rare. There's just like it's like get to the end of Act 1 and beat this boss, or beat this boss. You get an achievement there. But looking at some of the achievements, some of the achievements are like, deal a hand with 99 health, and you only get 3 goes, so you have to. That's a big old a stack. And it's just, so there's some really interesting achievements on there. So it doesn't give them out like Vigor. Yeah. It's a little bit tighter. It's a little bit tighter than Vigor.
I think it's one of just. I think with the rare achievements thing, I think Xbox, they were saying that they were going to not mess around with, but they were going to change the achievement structure, or because someone who plays, like, I'm chatting to a really nice guy in Wine Rack in Wadhurst, because I've stopped there a few nights on the way home and got some beers. I've got some really nice beers in there, and some bottles of wine. Now, he's a PC gamer, so he pretty much works there every night until 9 o'clock. He goes home, spends some time with his family. Then when they go to bed, he I think he's probably of the age he probably still lives with his parents, or he lives with family, because I think he's relatively young. And but he basically plays Destiny all night with friends in America. And I know Microsoft did say that they were going to do something along the lines of, show that you're an expert in that game rather than just based on your achievement score. So actually, I think you should do something where, because you're playing Spire. Okay, Vigor, and you're a founder in Vigor. If you get a rare achievement, it should almost be that your achievement score is 37,423 or whatever, but you have 17 rare achievements. So it's almost like a little bit of a I noticed it. What did I notice it the other day? I'm in a Facebook group for the London Marathon. And they've started introducing things where, like, you're a conversation starter, you're a rising star, you're a contributor, and it's almost like actually, I think Microsoft should put something like that in there. So, if you're an indie nerd, so it actually says, out of all those achievements you've unlocked, 4,000 of those have been rare achievements. That shows that you go that extra mile, or you play that new indie game sort of thing.
Yeah, like you say, like an early adopter kind of. I quite like that. That's quite. I mean, I know they was going to bring in all that change. I wonder if they're just kind of keeping that all back for like next new year, things for the next Xbox. It's just like, we've got all these really good ideas, but why don't we just kind of keep that, and then we can then reintroduce and get people interested back into achievements. I mean, it's always good to get achievements. Like, as we've said time and time again, it's like I will play a game, finish the story, and then look at the achievements to kind of where the ways I can get more out of that game, especially if I'm enjoying it like Batman or whatever. And it's just a way of going, okay, I'm like Forza. Forza's perfect because Forza is that, okay, I've done everything that I need to do on this map. What's the next achievement? What can I do? That just really gives you that extra longevity in a game. And I just, if the achievements are done right, it just works so well. And the other game that I've been playing this week as well, by doing that, I've been playing Sea of Thieves. I've been playing Tall Tales and Sea of Thieves, and I'm so back into Sea of Thieves. It is unbelievable. I woke up the other day and all I wanted to do was play Sea of Thieves. I was just like, and I'm playing the Tall Tales at the moment, and when you get to the end of each of the Tall Tales, you get an achievement. And it's just really nice, and they're still rare as well, so you still got, obviously they're rare, because we're like Sea of Thieves, and so but they're still rare achievements, so it was really cool. So you get like the Shrouded Spire, did the first one, or Shroudbreaker, not Shrouded Spire, the Shroudbreaker, and then you get an achievement at that point, and I was just like, this is really good. And it was, I'm playing with my nephews, and I'm playing with my brother-in-law, and they're all four of us, like, when we got the achievement, you just had this little kind of, yay, got the achievement, everyone was like kind of really happy that we got the achievement. But I am so back into Sea of Thieves. I absolutely love it. Not only did this week during Gamescom, which we'll get to in a minute, did they announce that if you play Sea of Thieves this week, you get the full Halo kind of kit for your ship. So before, I had the Master Chief figurehead, and I also had the UNSC sails, but now there is the wheel, the anchor, and the cannons are all kind of Halo themed, and they look absolutely gorgeous. They just look. They have to, I love all this kind of crossover that we're getting at the moment on Microsoft First Party, which we'll get to in a minute. Lovely tease. There's a couple of teases there. But I'm just playing Sea of Thieves. So on Saturday, I think it was Saturday, Nicola was finishing off Horizon Zero Dawn, and I was just flitting around, and I got a ping from my brother and my nephew, just one of my nephews on Saturday, going, fancy playing something. So I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll play anything. And they're big into Destiny at the moment, the original, but I don't have Destiny installed. I've only got Destiny 2 installed. So we said, okay, what have we got? What's the Venn diagram of what's on all of our Xboxes? And it was Sea of Thieves. So I said, let's jump into Sea of Thieves. Let's just play some Tall Tales. So I said, fine, got a couple of hours to spare. 3.5 hours later, we finished the first Tall Tales, and it was just so much fun. It was really cool.
Excellent.
So we played it on Saturday, and then we said, look, if you're around Sunday, I said, I've obviously got to take a stump down, which I conceded very quickly. I said, if I'm around, like, we'll jump back in. So I had made a roast, had it nice and early because of the stump. It actually started raining, that's why I came in. Not that the stump had bested me. And then, so I made a really early Sunday roast, and then I kind of had the rest of the afternoon spare. So I was just got a pingdom. I said, right, let's jump into this. Let's do the next tall tales, because they're kind of, as I say, they're broken up into kind of like, you start that quest. So we did 2 tall tales, and the first one, the first one, which was the Shroud Breaker, it was really cool because you're there, and so we had to go somewhere. So the map was telling us to go somewhere. You have to figure out what island that you need to go to. So we went to that island, and it was like, by this rock that looks like this. It had a scarab sign on it. You need to find, I think it was a token. So we took out the boss that was there. There was a captain there. We took that captain out, and then we found this medallion. So that opened up an area, and then so we put the medallion in, and we had to do the puzzle, and then that kind of gave us more puzzles to do, and it was just so awesome, because normally, obviously, Sea of Thieves, when it started, it was very much kind of, you go and do it and you have fun on it, and it's good, and you're kind of making that fun up, and it was just such a great game, and you were going and you were doing quests. But now with like Tall Tales and Beyond, all the other stuff that they're doing, it's just so good. It's just, the puzzles are fantastic. It was like, right, you got to do this. And we're like, okay, what do we do now? And then we kind of quickly worked it out. It's a bit like a Destiny raid, but we were just, but more fun, because the last time I played Destiny raid was the last time I played Destiny, and it was just so, but we were just having such a laugh, we were just having such a, it was just really cool. And while we were there, we found that there was a new thing called a Reaper's Chest, and you see these like coloured streams coming from the sea, and that was a Reaper's Chest. So we stopped to have a look what it was, and then what happens is, with a Reaper's Chest, once you grab that chest, everyone on the map can see that you have a Reaper's Chest on your ship. So you kind of suddenly you appear on the map. You got this little red mark. So we're like, right, we know where we're going. We're going to wherever we were going. Cutlass Clay or wherever, Chicken Eye or wherever we were going. Right, we went, right, abandon that, we need to find an outpost. Let's get to an outpost. And we were only on a brigantine for the first day, so we just kind of scuttled off to an outpost, checked that in, and then went back on our merry way. And it was just so much fun. And then on Sunday we played again, but my other nephew, Ed, joined. Having 4 and 2 nephews, added an element of chaos. We had a bit of an element of chaos, just because, you're going down, you're on the, I'm like, right, guys, we need to focus here. We've got 3 hours. We need to focus. But then you pass something shiny, and I've got one nephew who just wants to jump out and get it. Another one wants to spear it with the harpoon. And, and it's just like, oh, God, come on, guys, keep it together. And Nicola said, she goes, the noise that was coming from your headphones and from you, she said, was just hilarious. I was just chuckling so hard. I just love playing with them. So it was really good. It was a really good moment. It was really good kind of like uncle-nephew moment. And so we did that one, and then done it. And then I just cannot stop thinking now about Sea of Thieves. Yeah. And yesterday, I had the whole day off yesterday. And then so before lunch, so I did some stuff around the house, and then just before lunch I just jumped in. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to sail around in my little sloop, and I'm going to look for some Reaper's Chests. And I just grabbed some Reaper's Chests and took them back to an outpost, and just had fun, just on my own. But we're going to jump back in and play the next Tall Towers. Unfortunately, the week I'm off, they're on holiday, so they've gone away Xbox-less, so we won't be able to continue. But the great thing is that it just, that they've done it now. So I've done. So even if I just do another one, even if I do another Tall Towers, I can always go back and help them do the Tall Towers, because it's not always the same. You get like presented different islands. Right, okay. It's like, oh, here's one of, when you're going through the book, it says, right, you need to find, it gives you a tale, and it gives you this really cool, and it says, right, you need to figure out what island this is. So we're looking at it, going, I think this is Chicken Isle. It looks like chicken, and then you're just kind of doing that, and you're sailing around. So they can catch up even if I push on ahead. I won't do it on my own, because I think it will be tough. Because in the second part of the Tall Tales, one of the, I was going to say Burgess, but it wasn't Burgess, it was Bigsby. Captain Bigsby was so hard to kill. Yeah. It was just like, we were on one side of the island. We kept dying and respawning. And so what we did, a couple of us ended up bringing in our galleon around to the other side of the island and just shooting him with cannons, like from the sea to the shore. We were just shooting him with cannons. And then at the end, my nephew Ed, he just basically just picked up a big, picked up a big barrel, a gunpowder barrel, lit the barrel and just ran at him and just dropped it at his feet. He was in the water, so it just dropped him by him in the water. And then it just went, "You've killed Captain Bigsby." Honestly, at that point,
everybody was cheering.
We went nuts. So we really did. It was like, right, get it. And then we just ran. And we ran off the island, and there was just this whole load of skeletons just kind of chasing us. But it was just, oh my God, it was just so much fun. It was just like we had such a cool kind of couple of days. I was absolutely cream crackered after playing it, but it was just like, it was so much fun.
It sounds really, really interesting. I mean, it's unfortunately, I think it's been, I suppose it's like Division and things like that, because Friday nights I'm usually football, so I only get Saturday or Sunday nights. I jumped into it initially at the beginning, but I've not fortunately had the time available to jump into it with lots of people, so it is a bit like, I do keep thinking I need to go in there and have a bit of a play around, and I did go in when they released the single person boat, and had a quick play around just to look at it graphically and things like that, but it just sitting here not playing it, unfortunately. You do sort of listen to you and you see some of the Twitter's posts that go up of people doing, I suppose you see James quite often will repost or comment. Of course, you get that on your Twitter account that James has posted on this or commented on this, and it just looks like they're having fun making it, and you're having fun playing it, and I think what could be better? What could be better? Just like both parties enjoying what they do and creating. I mean, I can imagine James sitting, there coding something, laughing to himself, going, "Anthony's going to love this."
But it's just, honestly, it's just, I mean, like, the great thing about Sea of Thieves is that, it doesn't matter. There's no levels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter, you haven't got a better gun or, and stuff like that. And it's just so cool. But speaking of James, and I'm sure he won't mind, because at the moment, the poor sod is getting so much ribbing. Did you see what he did this week?
No.
Have you seen it? I'm like, oh God, it made Eurogamer.
Oh, really?
So James made Eurogamer, and also he has a GIF, which I bloody love so much. He was on the stream. So 6 months ago, James was on the stream, and he let slip that pets were coming to Sea of Thieves. Yeah. So he jokingly got a 6-month ban from live stream. So he makes it. So I'm coming back from Manchester, I'm watching James, and he introduced, so James was doing he was kind of chairing the whole thing, doing an awesome job, because he also does that apart from being awesome on the Lost Arts podcast. And then so he's there going, "Oh, I'm back from my 6 months ban. I won't let anything out of the bag this time." About an hour in, and it's beautiful. Yeah, I'll put a link to because you can find it now on YouTube. About an hour and 3 minutes in, they're talking, and someone asks a question about what's new, what's coming, some bombs or something, and James went, "Don't worry, you'll be really excited to know that fire is coming." And then the guy sitting next to him, Andy Preston, who I think is like one of the senior devs, just looks at him and goes, "Well, we haven't announced that yet." Like that. And then James just goes through this. It just goes through these 5 stages of just. He looks. He went, "No," and then they went, "No, we haven't." And then they asked someone off scene, and then you can hear like the guy who's in the brig. He just goes, "Well, that's another 6-month ban," and you just hear James going, "No," and then he just collapses on the table, and it is just his poor face. He always has this little depressed look, and I just you just want to give him a big old hug at that point, and then he just collapses on the table, and it's just so funny. And he was just seeing him kind of say it, then realise that he hadn't announced it yet, and then go through. It was just, and then so he made Eurogamer. It was like Sea of Thieves announced fire. I don't know what they could do with fire, but it was like Sea of Thieves announced fire via James Thomas. Then there's a picture of James looking just distraught. That
does ring a bell, because I think I remember seeing something come up on Twitter, where it push notifies your phone, and I think I was obviously doing something. I can't think what I was doing now, and I did see something about after my 6-month ban, blah 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 blah, and I don't know whether it was a repost from someone or if it was James, because I just sort of looked at it and thought 6-month ban. And I think that night before, the day before, I've been reading something about Ninja going over to Mixer or doing something, and I thought, obviously someone's been banned from Twitch or something like that. So no, I didn't realise it was that epic. So yeah,
no, I think the first when James tweeted that, it was almost like I'm back cheering after my 6-month ban, and then literally an hour later he had just let slip. It was just, honestly, just watch it. It's I'll put a link to the show notes. I'll put a link in the show notes. Like 103, like 1 hour and 3 minutes. James is going to kill me. It's like, why did you have to tell? An hour and 3 minutes in, you basically just see James it's just so funny. It's just like, yeah, and he's just handling the whole chat. I mean, even after he did such a great job, but he was just handling chat, going, "Oh yeah, you're interested in fire," and then just everyone just like looks at him, and he's like, "No, I haven't done it again, have I?" And it just made me laugh so much. It was just, I felt so sorry for it. The good thing is like, Joe Neat and all of the guys, like the executive producers and stuff, they've all just taken it with great fun, and I'm sure, being at Rare, I'm sure he got so much ribbing the next day.
He would have got absolutely ribbed, things left on his desk, oh yeah, I can imagine that. But I think, again, it's good if it's good that someone hasn't come out and reprimanded or something like that and taken it in a light heart, because there must be so much going on. The amount of stuff they're pushing out for this game, and unlike our top story, where they just went and stopped and then that was it. There's so much coming out and so much being developed, and we all know that games aren't quick to develop. So there is stuff they're working on now that might be 6 months, 12 months off. So. And if you're involved in so much of that, especially if you're doing streaming like James and you're involved in many different facets of the business, that's probably very hard to keep track of all those little bits and pieces that maybe have or haven't come out. So they just want a big whiteboard in front of him, or auto cue, which only he can see, which, James, we haven't mentioned 1, pets, 2, fire, 3, ice.
Well, I think now his name is James Loose Lips Thomas.
Someone's got to put me a pirate called that.
Yes, so I'm sure he's in the game a couple of times. So I'm sure Loose Lips Thomas is going to be a pirate skeleton at any time.
Let's make it.
So
happen.
yes, that's Thieves of Sea. That's the Sea of Thieves, which I absolutely love, and I just want to get back into it. I just want to kind of keep playing. But so that's what I've been playing. I don't think I've been playing anything else. I think that's just it. Slay the Spire and Sea of Thieves is all I've been playing, which is just good fun. So. Let's jump into the news, Stu. We've got lots to talk about with Gamescom, etc. But before we jump into the news, don't forget you can rate, review, and subscribe to this very podcast for free on iTunes, Spotify, and also on YouTube. In the news this week, we have a big old recap from Gamescom that's happening as we talk. Sony acquire a new studio, and someone understands Death Stranding, which I can't wait for you to talk about that, Stu. Right, and the first piece of news is with you, sir.
I was perusing around today, and one of my top stories, which I was quite pleased about, was off of Games Radar, which was Star Wars Battlefront 2 is getting Rise of the Skywalker content, including a large-scale single-player mode.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what piqued my interest, and I'm sorry to anybody out there, it's quite a longish article, so I'm going to skip over some of it. But basically, EA unveiled, when was this? This was a day ago. So EA unveiled the next stretch of the roadmap of Star Wars Battlefront 2 at Gamescom, outlined everything coming this fall with major updates in September and December. We've been waiting a while for some big Battlefront news, and this certainly delivers. The biggest news is the upcoming addition to Rise of Skywalker inspired content, which drops in December, probably around about when the film hits, so think about it, about 20th of December. So far, no announcements have been made, but they're probably going to bring in new key characters like Kylo Ren, maybe Rey. There are, in August, we're seeing the appearance of the B-1 droid, and a assault class for separatists, to close the gap between them and the wide variety of clone trooper outfits. There then is a load of other stuff going through multiplayer and new bits and pieces they're going to be bringing in. But I'm going to skip right to the end. And it goes, September will introduce 2 new gameplay modes, co-op and a large-scale single-player map. Yeah. 4-player online co-op will let you team up with other players, choose to play as the Galactic or Separatist Alliance, and take part in large-scale PvE battles on all 5 Clone War planets. The large-scale single-player mode, called Instant Action, will also debut in September. EA says it will take the supremacy element of capital supremacy, the planetary phase, open brackets, close brackets, and will allow you to play through it on your own. At release, will you have access to all the maps that are currently available within the capital separacy. Now I'm going to hand this over to you if you've got the article. I can get Naboo and Kaminoni, but I'm not going to even try and pronounce the rest of them.
Camino is the other one. So Camino is where Boba Fett, where the Clone War thing. And come on, you do not know Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk is where the Wookiees. It's the Wookiee planet.
Kashyyyk. That Nile Rodgers was in that, wasn't it? Oh, that's Sheik.
Geonosis and Felucia. So it's just like, Stu, that's just you've lost some nerd points not knowing the Wookiee planet. Come on, dude. That just sounds so cool. I mean, it's really funny because like on both of my Xbox One X's, whether I'm kind of been demoted down to the smaller TV or I've got some cheeky time on the big one, I've always got Battlefront 2 on my is there. It's on my hard drives, and every now and then I will just jump in just to look at the graphics and hear the gorgeous sound of the lasers. It's so good, and every now and then I'll just jump in and play, and I love the single player. Obviously we've got Jedi Fallen Order coming soon, and I was just like, I really wish they'd have more of that. And they, having this, I love the idea of this co-op as well, because they had that in the first one, didn't they? Where you could jump in, and it was almost like a mini horde, wasn't it? It was like 5 waves of, and that was always good fun. I bought it from my brothers, and I just like jumped in and just said like, and that was on the original one, and just obviously the graphics have improved, and just seeing kind of like a bit of a co-op, that just sounds like, honestly, I love just jumping into Star Wars Battlefront. I really do.
It's just a really good gameplay. So when the game, I've probably played 2 less than 1 in respects of online. I really enjoyed 1 online. That's not to say I didn't enjoy 2 online, but I think I didn't go into it so much because we had the single player element, and I am more of a single player game person. And then the first DLC dropped, and then we got the extension to the game, or the single player, and it's like brilliant, some more to play, and okay, it was over a bit too quick, but we knew we potentially had that Amy Hennig game coming out, so okay, well maybe this is okay, and then that was it, no more single player. Then that Amy Hennig game was canned, and okay, we got this, but we didn't know we've got this coming out later this year. But it's like, okay, so brilliant, let's get some more single player stuff in there. Because if their maps are there and all they've got to do, it's a little bit, what was the game the other day, Division 2, where they were saying about maybe they could use the current maps to create some sort of story mode that you could play as a single player. Brilliant. Right. Give that to me. Give me Division 2. Give me the massive map, and give me some type of go here and meet this person and do this and go over there and do that. Like you would have in Far Cry. So if we can get some more content like that, then brilliant. I'll be in day one with this, definitely.
It just sounds so cool. It just sounds so... I just love the idea of, like I say, the co-op mode and that single player mode. Just because... there are obviously hardcore Battlefront players who are jumping in. So when you jump in, you are kind of surrounded by some hardcore players who are still playing that now. But just giving you something to jump in, it's great fun.
Yeah. No, definitely.
It just looks so cool, especially when you're like playing as a clone trooper or something like that. I as much as I enjoy being the good guys in Star Wars, actually kind of playing as a stormtrooper is quite badass because they just look so good in that game. They really do. The graphics are absolutely gorgeous, and it just kind of, that's just so good. The best thing about that link that you stuck in the show notes is that when I scrolled down to the bottom, it had a trailer for Fallen Order, and I'm just looking at it going, oh god, it's so shiny. I cannot wait to play that game. It's not long. I'm sure that's going to be my game of the year. I'm calling it already. We don't even need to do that podcast, right? But so when is all that coming? It's coming in September.
Yeah, it's sort of coming between, there was a few bits. August we'll see the B1 droid and the assault. So, we are August, so we're August 22nd. So imminently we're going to see that. Then we're going to see this in September. May not see anything in October, November, and then we'll have the Rise of the Skywalker stuff in December. What I'm really looking forward to is we still do it to this day on the first Dolby Atmos demo disc. There is about 5-minute gameplay from the first one, and that's and that is because obviously at that point it was in Atmos only on PC. But that in the dem room with the subs blazing away with the AT-ATs, not AT-ATs, AT-ATs.
Yes.
You hear that pew pew, and you just feel the bass rumbling. So just for that,
especially if something flies over as well.
They do the TIE fighters
goodness.
fly over you in Atmos, and it does sound brilliantly. So that's definitely. And actually flipping back to Vigor, when you're waiting to go into the match and it counts down, when you get to 5, it counts down from 5 or 10, and as it gets closer to 1, the bass gets deeper. And I had it up the dem room the other day after watching the movie. Talk about tension. That countdown with the bass sort of hitting you in the face as you're about to go in and get killed. So I can't wait. That's going to be great. So after starting off with a bit of Star Wars, next one's with you and all of us, I suppose.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Gamescom is happening right now, so obviously we've had lots of announcements. There was lots of things that were coming out of Gamescom. Monday, we had quite a big day. So Monday, there was the Xbox, Inside Xbox, coming live from Gamescom. We had Nintendo Indie World, their new kind of thing, which was called Indie World, and also Geoff Keighley kind of went on for about 2 hours, I think, kind of going through and so lots of news. I kind of jump through some of them. I put a link, I'll stick a link in the show notes as well, which was the news.xbox on Xbox Wire, just going through some of the big recaps. And I think the big kind of items, the big ticket items, was that obviously they showed Gears of War Horde mode in the Inside Xbox. They also debuted the story trailer in the Geoff Keighley Gamescom opening night showcase. They showed so Rod Ferguson kind of went from the Gamescom studio where Microsoft are all this week, and then he kind of dived over to Geoff Keighley's show, and then showed the very first, the premiere of the campaign trailer, which just looks so good. I just said to Nicola, I said, come and look at this, and she got very excited.
Those
Horde,
those skidoos where kite surfing.
They look so good.
I just sat there and went, oh my word, that just looks so shiny because it was in snow. But it was just that's going to be so much fun. So, I mean, it had me at Horde, before Horde. But just seeing that was just brilliant. So, cannot wait.
So we've got Horde mode is obviously their normal kind of 50 waves of just terror coming at you. They've made some changes with Gears 5. They've made some big changes actually. You can it's more kind of where normally in Horde you're kind of in a corner and you're hankering down and trying to protect in there. But what happens with Gears 5 is it gives you the option to kind of either double down or move and kind of get more loot or more resource to kind of build. So you'll end up kind of owning kind of a good portion of your map. So it's really kind of making you move. Yeah. It's trying to, I guess when they're looking at Horde, they're trying to just make you kind of move rather than just stay in that doorway or stay around that area. So it's just they're kind of really kind of trying to improve, trying to make you kind of move. And then you also have abilities as well, so all of your characters will have a bit of ability to be able to kind of call some stuff in, and it just looked awesome. It just looks like it's one of those things. I love Horde mode. You kind of, once you've done the campaign, just jumping into Horde. I think it was Nicola, Manny, James, and myself. We managed to do the 50 levels in 4, and that was just we ended up. It was so late by the time we finished, but we were just not going to give up. But Nicola wouldn't allow us to give up. So we just carried on going, and it was just James. I think that's all that James played. I don't know if he played the campaign, but we just jumped in one night, and it was just so much fun. So they're going to bring in bringing that back. But I think at E3 they announced that Terminator, there was going to be a Terminator pack for Gears. Well, at Gamescom they went one better than that, and they really said that there was going to be some Halo Reach characters that I can't remember which ones are. Kate and Emily, I think it is. They are coming as part of the Ultimate Edition. So if you have Game Pass Ultimate, or you've pre-ordered and bought the Ultimate Edition, you will get the Halo Reach character pack. And they showed them playing in Horde, and they look really good. You know, they looked like, it didn't look weird, the Halo characters playing in Gears. I thought it looked really cool.
And they've got their own special abilities. And I did see in one of the element that it was, I can't think of the name of it, that you've got like the robot, the flying sort of drone thing.
Oh, yes.
And they did say that they were trying to make it, to bring ways to bring non-Gears players into it. So if you're playing a Horde game, you can bring in, say, like a friend, and they can be that character. So they can be a little bit more out of the line of fire, but they can still have the buzz of flying up and, you know, reviving someone or dropping ammo or something like that. So, but it's just great. I mean, you know, I think the Sarah Connor thing was just brilliant, bringing that in, but then also bringing in some two more much loved, you know, Halo characters, and eventually a pirate soon. You know, maybe James will let that one slip. But
yes.
Sea of Thieves pirate.
You've got to be crossing. You've got to be crossing. You either get kind of Marcus Phoenix in Sea of Thieves, or you get kind of like a default gnarly pirate.
We've got Halo in Sea of Thieves, so why can't we have it the other way around?
Absolutely. But yeah, you're right, because there was that Jax. Is it Jax? I think is
like
the thing. Yeah. And there was one bit where he's picking up guns that have been dropped when they've killed their guns, stay there, and then just literally putting it into some resource manager, you know, just kind of feeding in there, which gives you more kind of credits. And you're right, you know, that would just be absolutely fantastic. Just get that player who maybe is not au fait with doing that, but really kind of supporting and almost playing their own game, you know, kind of doing that and adding that support role. So which was quite cool. So that was Gears 5. They really kind of kicked off with a big kind of meaty Gears. They announced that there was a whole bunch of Game Pass titles that were coming into Game Pass. So that day when they were live, we had Stellaris, Devil May Cry 5, and Age of Empires Definitive Edition coming into Game Pass, which is always good when they have those inside Xbox. It's always nice to have that. And then coming today is this. So they kind of announced that. I think a couple of days later we had Ape Out, which unfortunately was only coming to PC. I thought that was going to come to Xbox, but it's only PC. Kingdom Come Deliverance, and then on the 27th and 30th of August we have Bard's Tale 4, and then on 30th we have Blair Witch Project. So we have Blair Witch Project, which is coming to Game Pass, which I cannot wait to play. That is just going to be nice nighttime mood game, kind of headphones on. That is just kind of sound and look just absolutely incredible. I think so. They kind of have.
I think also Age of Empires is PC only as well. So
yes,
I think it was because I know on another podcast they got pulled up on it. But yeah, Age of Empires and Ape Out are PC only. I know it's just a bit confusing because you got Xbox Game Pass PC, then Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and then Xbox Game Pass for consoles. So it's sort of like you have to sort of like cross your T's and dot your I's now when you're looking at these, because you're like, oh, excellent, Ape Out, brilliant. Oh, no, it's got the word PC at the end of it. So
they just had Ape Out coming to Game Pass, and you're like, yes, and then it's just like, yeah absolutely. And then they announced that, X019. So it's kind of I think Graham Boyd's kind of said it was how you pronounce it. So it's X and then it's 019. So X019 is coming to London, which they announced I think in E3, but they announced a little bit more details that say it's going to be coming from the 14th to the 16th of November, and it's going to be in the Copper Box Arena in London, and that is Stratford Way. So there is a Shake Shack in Stratford, not far from the tube station. So that's going to be coming. There's going to be a special episode of Inside Xbox kicking this off, and tickets for that will be going on sale on September, and they're about £19. Well, they're not about, they are £19 per session, with all the proceeds going to charity for those Inside Xbox. And they did say that this is going to be a big big one. So the big boys are coming over. So Matt Booty, Rod Ferguson, Aaron Greenberg, Major Nelson's coming over, and the big guy himself, James Thomas. No, Phil Spencer will be coming over for this. So I don't know about you, Stu, but kind of seeing all of those people together means that maybe there's going to be something special in Inside Xbox.
I know I'm going to be hitting refresh when those tickets go up for sale. But yeah, I mean, you would imagine something. Obviously, you're not going to look at the UK. You're not going to look at London one and do it as a small show, because it is a big venue with arguably one of the biggest sort of the biggest crowds of people who they can sell their games to. Outside America, it's probably the second biggest market, I would say, so it's going to be big. Yeah, and maybe we might see it. I don't think we'll see more on the console. We'll probably see a bit more on, or there might be some announcements because around the mobile one. I can't think what it's called now.
xCloud.
That's it. Yeah, maybe there might be some stuff around xCloud. I mean, I want to go just to get my hands on xCloud. To get my hands on it, and so definitely be looking to go to that without a shadow of a doubt.
Because on the Thursday where they have the Inside Xbox, straight after that is a fan fest. So fan fest is normally that's like kind of playing new titles and things like that, and getting your hands on all of that. So that would be pretty interesting. And then speaking of getting your hands on stuff, they announced 2 special edition controllers. They announced the Night Op Camo edition controller, and also the Sport Blue as well. So they kind of have those 2 being showed, which are quite cool. PlayerUnknown's Battleground is getting cross-console play, which I just think is this is it. This is the dream start, is coming true.
Finally.
And so it's going to be, it's not going to be PC, it's going to be PlayStation and Xbox will now be able to play on the same servers, and this is all coming live in October. I think there's like Season 4, and this will be coming in October, and this will allow you to play cross-console on PUBG, and I just think this is just fantastic. This is absolutely superb. This is getting close to kind of what we want. This is close to kind of just being able to kind of play. And like I say, they're leaving out PC at the moment just because the PC has, I think it's in front.
Yeah, but
of the console. I think it's a cycle in front or something like that.
Less now. I think they also did pledge to the fact of that they will now make the seasons or the updates to console will only have a very small window, and like maybe 2 weeks or a month it will launch on PC before it launches on console. So and I think that they were saying technologically it's not that easy because of that to put it onto console. So at the moment they're just going the console route, and then maybe in the future they may introduce PC too. But I mean, that certainly will get people back into it, because obviously since PUBG launched, there's a lot more out there for people to play. You've got new games like Vigor coming out, and there was a few new games in the Geoff Keighley's opening conference, which were very looked that type of genre. So they've got to get people back into PUBG, or get more people into PUBG, and I think it's just a great thing. And as you say, cross-play, hopefully at some point progression on games, but I think it is the future. The future is nigh.
I kind of feel that that's going to be stuff that's going to come into the next gen. That's going to be just at some point in the next couple of years, it will just be the norm. It'll just be, okay, you like the PlayStation, I like Xbox, let's catch up on Friday and play.
And I think hopefully the consoles, hopefully the manufacturers. I know we're big Xbox fans on this, but I'm hoping that Microsoft as well as Sony are sitting there going, okay, look, we know this is going to happen. Now we're building these consoles and we're building the UI around these consoles. We've got to have a small nod to the fact that at some point this is going to be norm. And if this console is, what was was it 5 years? Was it 2013? Was it the Xbox One came out? I think something like that. So you must think it's sort of like, it's 5, 6, 7 years maybe before they have a big jump. Okay, there might be another iteration like another X or a PlayStation Pro, But they've got to be building these consoles with that in mind. They have to be, otherwise they're being stupid.
Absolutely. And I think also so they had PUBG. Also, they showed some Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is starting to look really cool. Really actually, good, I'm starting to. The more I see of that game, the more I'm like, I don't know, I might pick that up. I might have to play that. They also had, they also showed a quick trailer of Shadowkeep, which was the expansion for Destiny. They showed some more Blair Witch. They announced Surge 2 as well, and I think there was the career mode as well with NBA 2K20 as well. They kind of showed that, so it went on for about about 90 minutes, I think it was, and it was good. It was really good. They, like I say, they had a lot of announcements, and I'll stick a link on to news.xbox in the show notes for any more that we may have missed, and then. Before that, but kind of in my timeline after that, was the Nintendo. So Nintendo had a Indie World, which was one of those ones where they didn't have any presenter. They just had someone narrating, and they kind of went through a whole batch of games that are coming to the Nintendo anytime between now and I think mid 2020. So there was a big old batch of games that were coming out. But I think, did you manage to catch any of this, Stu? Did you have a look at any of the Nintendo showcase?
I got back late that night and watched the Xbox one, and the following night I watched the Gamescom, the opening Gamescom one. But I didn't. To be honest, I wasn't hugely bothered about watching it. You know, I'm a little bit out of love with my Switch at the moment. So it was almost like I just thought, Anthony will tell me about it on the awesome podcast we'll do it this week.
Absolutely. I mean, I think for me, the big standouts, there was one game that was a huge standout for me when I was like, please let this be available right now, was Eastward. So Eastward was, it's an action-adventure game. They call it Retro Pixel, and it's from it's being published by Chucklefish.
I think I've seen this.
And it's So it's the same people who published or made that really cool farming game that I absolutely love. So that the Stardew Valley. So it's those guys, but this is just it's just absolutely gorgeous. This Eastward is it's available to pre-order. I think it's coming early 2020, unfortunately. But what it is, it's a real kind of, the art style is just a real charming kind of looking. You're in a post-apocalyptic world where a miner discovers this girl called Sam deep in an underground secret facility, and then you're basically just journeying through decaying cities and just solving puzzles and action adventure. And the art style is incredible. It just looks absolutely superb. So it's one player, it's coming early 2020, and like I say, I think it's the developers Pix Peel, and it's being published by Chucklefish, and it just looks, the art style and the lighting on each of these levels is just so detailed and just so gorgeous. It was one of those ones where, similar to maybe Cuphead or something like that, where the art style just grabs you and you're like, oh, hello, and then you just end up just kind of sitting there, kind of get totally drinking it in. But yeah, so Eastward.
Yeah. I'm just looking on. I just done a Google search for it. It does, and just brought up the images. Yeah, it does look quite interesting.
Eastward coming 2020. That's really cool. They had What the Golf. They showed What the Golf, which was absolutely fantastic. We played that at EGX, and that's just really good fun. That is just, you end up playing golf with everything, and literally everything. You know, you just like, there's one level where I think James was playing it, and he was there going, okay, what do I do? All I've got is me and the ball, and he became the club. You know, he was essentially he was the club. His character was the club. So they showed that. Ori and the Blind Forest is coming to Switch on the 27th of September. We're getting Ori and the Blind Forest coming to Switch. So another Microsoft title coming to Switch, which I think is quite exciting.
Definitely. I think that's still that relationship is blossoming again, and let's just hope that we all get the some more Xbox titles on there, and maybe some Xbox interfaces on the Switch at some point. But yeah, I mean, I've played that on the Xbox. Quite liked it. I got to a bit which was quite taxing, and sort of like thought, well, I'll come back to it a bit later, and haven't. But it's a good game, and actually it's a perfect game for the Switch. You know, a little bit like Cuphead, it's the perfect game for the Switch. And I think that I was listening to something this week, which was sort of talking about Microsoft and how are they with all the studios they've purchased, are they going to be, and I think we touched on it last week, are they going to be a software company, which obviously they are, or a console company? And then someone was sitting there going, well, actually, if I'm not going to buy an Xbox, but I still want to play Cuphead, or I still want to play an Xbox-only title, then why wouldn't you put it on the Switch and and have some sort of a relationship? So no, definitely. I think
what Microsoft are doing right now, I think, and they did hint at they've both been calling each other friends. If you think about it, the Switch is the perfect second console. If you have an Xbox or you have a PlayStation and you're into gaming, then you're going to be out and about. So the Switch is that. So I kind of almost feel that both PlayStation and Xbox kind of see that people will get a second console. So let's put stuff on there. If Sony was smart, and I'm sure they are incredibly smart, I would be doing the same as well. I'd be putting old versions of Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper. I'd be doing that. I'd be doing exactly what Microsoft would be doing. I'd be popping over to Nintendo and going, hey, can we do that as well? Because I'd love to know how, if they sell a lot, of like Ori and the Blind Forest or Cuphead, what the sales figures were, because it's the perfect idea. It is just such a great idea, and so I hope they continue to kind of just publish. Obviously, they can't do the meaty big titles because they need the graphical powerhouse of the Xbox One. But these other titles, these indie titles that they own, why not just keep pushing them out that way? And I just think it's fantastic. So some others that were there, they showed Torchlight 2, Risk of Rain 2, which looks really good, Super Hot and Hotline Miami are both coming. I think they actually released that day. So there was a Hotline Miami collection and Super Hot, which is now on everything, VR and Xbox. I think it's now on Game Pass as well. So that is now available via the Switch. So there was a nice showing there. I think it only went on for about 25 minutes. The Nintendo Indie World presentation only went on for about 20 minutes, but it was really good. It was just like they were quite very short, sharp, with all their trailers. But that was it. So there was some really good stuff that is coming out. I don't think there was anything else that really kind of caught my eye. Nothing else on my pad apart from obviously Eastward, which is just like kind of I can't wait to play that game. And then lastly was Geoff Keighley. So Geoff Keighley kind of had a 2-hour show where he just kept bringing people. It was almost like you were watching the Video Game Awards, but I won't say without awards, because they did actually give out some Gamescom awards, but it was like that. So every now and then there'll be exclusive trailer, and then they would show world premiere, and then they would go through that. And we got to have a look at Call of Duty, and they were showing their 2v2, which actually goes up for an open alpha this weekend. So starting Friday, which is tomorrow as we pod, on the PlayStation 4, you can actually play the 2v2 alpha for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So that they kind of announced that. I'm just looking to see if there was anything else that was.
Do you have to
this is a completely open alpha. So no, I think they had the pre-order was last week. I think the pre-order alpha was last week, and so this one is just the 2v2 mode. So which is really good because it lets you kind of jump in and have a look what the graphics are like, doesn't it? It kind of gives you a taster for that.
Last more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's like, oh look, lovely, boom, dead. Oh look, lovely, dead. They
respawn again.
They showed off Need for Speed Heat. They showed off. There was also a thing called Need for Speed Heat Studio, where you could start customizing your cars ready for when. No,
that's a good idea. I like that. That's a good unique idea. I did mean to. I was going to go into it and have a look at it, but there was a small part of me which was just like, okay, this looks quite interesting. I like the fact they're getting the hype around it now, and for those people that want to do it for the Fast and Furious type game, because arguably I'm a big Need for Speed fan, and I really liked was it Wanted? I think it was, and the Cops and Robbers, which they've brought back into it. So. But I understand. But I've always been a little bit let down by the gameplay in recent years, and where you've got like Forza now, where it's so slick. But I did like the app. I thought that was a very, very good idea, and I think that will be used by others.
It looks really cool. It looks really good that you can kind of, while you're waiting for that game to come out, you can just kind of play around. They made a big deal, THQ Nordic made a big deal, and Geoff made a big deal of a game called Comanche, which was a helicopter game that I'd never heard of. Now, Desert Strike, Jungle Strike, all of those games, now I love that. Bring that back. But Comanche, I'd never heard of Comanche. They made a big deal going, why don't you, there was a hype. I was thinking, this is going to be a big game. And they kind of announced Comanche, and it was it was almost like a warm reception from the crowd. It was almost like a couple of people whooping and hollering. But I had no idea of this game, I still haven't. I haven't even Googled it, but it was just like, so...
It's got here on the Kotaku article I put up. It's got the classic helicopter warfare series Comanche, last seen in 2001. Is coming back from THQ.
So I was just like, nope, never heard of that.
Looked interesting. I'll probably jump in and have a play.
Yeah, exactly. If there was like an alpha or beta, I think they had a thing, didn't they, where you can sign up for it. They were like, sign up for our alpha and beta now, so you can kind of go onto that. They showed some Witcher 3 on the Switch, or as I've banned Steve from calling it Switcher. They showed some Switch. I've said it now. The Witcher 3 on the Switch. Looking at it on a ginormous 65, a ginormous TV in 4K, it looked really rough. But I kind of have a feeling if you then squidge that down to a Switch, it might look okay. I think I might boomerang this. I think I might, if it's coming out physical, which I'm sure it is, I might boomerang it just for curiosity, just to see how good the opening level. I think there's like a griffin that you have to take out, and just to see how that looks in The Witcher 3 on the Switch.
Yeah, definitely. There was a Little Nightmares 2, which intrigued me. I've never played this Little Nightmares 1. But that sort of intrigued me in the same way as the Nintendo game sort of intrigued you by the art style. I sort of saw that, and that immediately I just went, oh, what's this? Because I listened to a run through on this on another podcast, and I was a bit like, doesn't sound great, but actually just take some time to watch these things, listeners. You listen to people run through it, including us, and we will pick and choose what we liked. But actually, when I got back that night and just watched it for the 2 hours, and admittedly I sat there and went, oh geez, 2 hours, I actually really picked up some interesting little things from it. Little Nightmares 2 looked really good for me. I thought I'm looking forward to playing that one coming 2020 on all formats by the looks of it.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. I remember playing the first one, or a demo for the first one, and that was and that looked really cool. I think one of the standouts from me, which was was Disintegration. And that is that's a new shooter from the co-creator of Halo, whose name escapes me at the moment, but from the co-creator of Halo, and they showed that, and I think it's Marcus Lafito or something like that. But they showed that, and interestingly, popped in yesterday was the latest version of Edge. So I have an app on my iPad called Readly, where you basically just like all the magazines. You just say, I like this magazine, I like kind of tech, and I like gaming, and it popped up saying, oh, there's a new yellow alert, and there's a new issue of Edge, and that was it had Disintegration on the front cover. So I'm off into London tomorrow, so that's what I'm going to be reading in the morning. So I've just made sure it's downloaded to my iPad, and I'm going to read all about it. And that just looks really good. It kind of gave me kind of Destiny vibes. It gave me kind of Halo vibes. It was very much kind of, you have Earth. Looks like there's been a post-apocalyptic war. Like I said, I'm going to read a lot more about it tomorrow, and that the robots are kind of almost taking over. So the trailer was this robot, really cool looking robot, and then you just saw them kind of running through some vistas, and I was like, yes, this looks like I say, it looks Halo, looks Destiny. It just looks like this could be good. So that's coming. I think that's coming to everything. So it's coming 2020, and it's going to be Xbox One, PlayStation, or whatever it is around at that point. So it's going to be coming to all of those next year. And I think that's kind of it. And then the last thing, obviously, we had a Geoff Keighley show. We had a Geoff Keighley joint.
Well, can I interject for a second? The one I think that is breaking the internet, as far as I've seen, is Kerbal Space Program 2. I've seen some really funny comments on that. I've not played Kerbal Space Program, but there was a few things where people were just like, I can't remember if it's on this Kotaku one, but there was one of them which was like, you go to the bottom. Oh, that's it. It was this one. It's like, I'm sorry, everything is secondary to KSP2. My mind has just been blown. And then it's just got a massive thread about it. I'm so excited. I didn't realise this was coming, blah, blah, blah. And I've just then flipped around the internet, and so many boards, Reddits and things like that are just like, were mind blown by this game.
Holy moly.
shown.
I didn't know that was a big thing.
Apparently there was people, and actually this guy I met in who I've been chatting to the last few days in the wine rack in Wadhurst, he's a massive Destiny fan, and he plays Destiny, plays Overwatch and things like that, and even he said he saw it and was like, I can't wait for that. That's brilliant, because it's the sort of game that you can play, just leave for 6 months, come back to, play again, build another rocket, and then it's just sort of like, yeah, I mean, it wants me. I think I'm going to go back and try and find the first one and play some of it, because the way the internet's going off about it's much
Holy
bigger
moly.
than I thought
Wow.
it was.
I've never really even heard of it. I know of Kerbal Space Program. I know the little alien, so I kind of but I tell you one thing that did pique my interest. I never really spoke about it here, but one thing that did actually, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to pay the 10-hour demo of it with EA Access, was FIFA Volta. So FIFA 20 has a mode called Volta, which is kind of like a street, like FIFA Street Foot, and it's game, just that looks pretty cool. I was just like, oh,
and there's a story mode with that as well. So I didn't play. I'm trying to think now. I didn't play last year's, because I was playing the single player campaign, if you want to call it that, on FIFA, and I didn't bother carrying on with it because it was a bit too rigid. But apparently there is a story campaign in this one as well, so around the Volta. But I'm the same as you. I'm definitely going to go in there and play the 10 hours free of that.
Absolutely, I think it might be quite a bit of a giggle, because it's only, was it 3 aside or something like that? Is it 3 aside, 5 aside?
Yeah,
or
3 aside. Yeah, much more tricky sort of football and things like that.
Yeah. Like, there was one, they showed a quick clip of like someone just kind of picking the ball up, kind of kicking it over their head, and I was just like, that looks fun, especially as it's not something I would buy, but jumping into that 10-hour EA Access and just kind of a bit of a play through that, I think it might just be kind of good fun.
No, definitely.
We'll have to jump in together, and then we could be awful at the same time.
But there was some other stuff. I mean, they showed some Monster Hunter World stuff. They showed some Borderlands 3 stuff. Apparently, I'm not really into Life is Strange, unfortunately. But apparently, there was the clip they showed was a massive spoiler for people.
Yeah, I screamed at my TV, and I didn't mention it here because I was just like, I can't believe I'm not going to give it away. But if you don't want to ruin Life is Strange, apparently, do not watch. My bad for waiting for them to like kind of, because it was such a long wait. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to wait. I'm going to let them stack up, and then I was like, oh, Life is Strange 4. I won't really look at this, and then they were like, they gave away just a ginormous spoiler. I was like, oh, awesome, thanks very much. I was just like, cheers.
But there was one game, I can't think what it was now, but it was one game which was the the time of the year when you get in close to Christmas because you start to see best before 2020 on your bacon or whatever. But there was one game that came up, and I can't think what it was now, but it was literally coming 2021. I'm like, okay, I haven't seen that yet.
Wow.
There was I'm looking at the bottom section of the Kotaku advert. I've got a feeling it was there was this GYLT. No, that was the Stadia exclusive, which actually looked quite interesting.
It wasn't that Humankind, was it? Where they had the monkey in space playing the keyboard.
That was it. Yes, yeah,
Oh,
that really weird trailer. But yeah, that it sort of said coming. It just said coming, or something said 2021, and you're like, it was coming to bloody hell, they're announcing that that no one knows about. So that was quite interesting.
Wow.
But yes, it ended off with a small game which really did not pique my interest, and I'm not joking. I actually fast forwarded through some of that because I was getting bored.
Could you say you were peed off with it?
Oh God, yeah. And it was just like,
that was
really,
perfect.
have we sunk that low in a game now? We have to put urination into it. I'm sorry.
You can urinate and grow mushrooms.
I read this article later on, which we'll get onto in a minute, which has piqued my interest back again. But I just sat and watched that and just went, he's gonna turn around at one point once this game is. You're going to see Kojima shoot I want to say a vine, but it doesn't exist anymore. Shoot a video of him driving off in his new McLaren, slipping two fingers up, going, and his number plate says "Thank you, Sony" or something like that. Because it's like, this is just bonkers, and it's not winning me around at all.
I can't wait to play this game. I am just like I
said it was going to be a Marmite game before.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Marmite game. I want to be wrong because of his reputation, but. Yeah.
I'm just going to go dark. I think when this game comes out, I'm just going to go dark. I'm just going to sit somewhere. I'm just going to sit in the movie room, headphones on, and just play this game. I'm going to book out time on the big TV. I can't get pushed over because the PlayStation's only plugged into big TV. I cannot wait to play this game. It just is bananas. The fact that you can, like I say, as we were saying, they showed a clip. They had this whole kind of mama thing, and then they had the BBs with the babies or something as well. They were showing that.
Bridge babies.
And then they had the moment where you could see Norman Reedus, his character, was just peeing, and I thought it was just a fun clip. But then a mushroom grew, and it had that, and it was just like a bowl of cows. You could then eat those for like vitality and stuff, or if multiple people pee on a mushroom, it gets bigger. I think I heard someone say, but God. I was just like, the problem is like you just don't know what's going to happen in this game, but it's just absolutely bonkers. But they finished with that. Kojima came out. They had this little kind of montage about Kojima. He came out, presented this Mama trailer, and then we also saw that Geoff Keighley is going to be in Death Stranding as well, so he kind of plays some hologram as well, so which was fun because obviously those two just kind of like they have a special bond, Geoff Keighley and Kojima.
Well, I think it's after that. I think he didn't he back at one of the Games Awards. He did a bit of a speech, didn't he? Was saying that, unfortunately, he's not allowed to come over, collect any awards or anything like that. And there was that whole falling out he had, and I think from that point, they've obviously got that friendship.
I think it was before that. Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Okay. It was all like Metal Gear Solid. It's been their relationship has been going on for a while. They've been kind of like very much like Geoff Keighley and Kojima are very much kind of like. But that was like, I think that was just him kind of standing up for his friend, and it's fantastic to see. But it's also really cool to see that Geoff Keighley is in Death Stranding as well. So they put him as a hologram. So
not his voice, but his motion capture.
Oh, it wasn't his voice.
No, it's not his voice. It's another person's voice. It's not his voice.
Oh wow! I didn't even pick that up when I was watching it. I didn't even pick that up, because it's like, what's wrong with Jeff's voice? He's a lovely Canadian.
Yeah, no, at the end of it, he says, wonderfully voiced by, and then basically said the person's name who is voicing it. But yeah, it's not his voice, it's his body, which apparently he said is his better feature anyway.
Right. Imagine that. It's like, hey, Geoff, I've put you in the game. He's like, awesome. How did my lines come across? Like, yeah, not good. Not good.
We didn't want any booting.
we got some, yeah, exactly. It was his little Canadian twangs. And then Death Stranding obviously finished that off and was kind of a big moment in that kind of 2-hour opening night. Which leads us quite nicely, Stu, onto your last piece of news.
Yeah, so this wasn't in my thing earlier, but I heard about this on the way home tonight, and basically it's an article from John West at Games Radar, and the title is "I have seen Death Stranding at Gamescom and finally understand what's going on." I'm gonna, again, it's a massive article, so look at the show notes and read it when it's in there. But he goes, "I've seen Death Stranding at Gamescom and I finally understand what the beep is going on." Here's the thing, I can be all too easy and lose sight of the universal truth. Every game starts with a simple concept that's true to every single video game in history. Yes, even those with Hideo Kojima at the helm. Basically, so let me see if I can find this, because he does waffle on a bit. So the one thing that really stood out to me was just simple. So apparently he had a closed doors view of the gameplay of this. The one thing that really stood out to me was just how simple the game is at its core. Death Stranding is a game about walking. As Sam Porter Bridges, or as most people know him, Norman Reedus, trapped in an uncanny valley. You are tasked with walking from east coast to the west coast of America, reactivating various communication nodes along the way in an effort to spread the message of hope of the nation becoming fragmented and disconnected, taking the idea of unity in pockets of isolated population that trades in something rather than in love. Basically evil rather than love. That is what Death Stranding is. As you walk, you retrace the steps of Amelie, daughter of the President of the United Cities of America, who embarked on her own east to west journey with a convoy sometime before the game kicks into gear. So did this attempt to re-establish network communication relays across the county. So basically, it just looks like... So, I mean, there's devastating attack, and as I say, there's a lot more information into this, but it is a bit of a... Because I know they were saying about it being a UPS delivery driver or something like that, but...
With a ladder. You have a ladder.
Yeah. Basically, with a ladder, yeah. But so it does look like it is a journey, because I know people were sort of saying about, it looks like a massive map with nothing to go on, and then obviously we did see the ladder come out again. I want to know if this is the first time we've used a self-erecting ladder in a game, but then he went up to a station and then went in to see a hologram in the station.
Yeah.
So it looks like it is a massive open world game where you are tasked with going places and reactivating communication networks and retracing this president's daughter's trip in respects of trying to ignite, peace and love across America.
Yes. Wow. Sounds good. So it's
that sort of got my interest up a bit.
So New York to California, New York to San Francisco, east to west.
So that got my interest up a bit, and I still don't think it's going to be a game I play at the beginning, because I still have no idea what happened in Endgame, so I'm quite good at missing these spoilers. But yeah, so it does seem interesting. But I would say go and read the article, because it is a long article and there's a lot of pictures in there which are not spoily. But it's the whole bridge baby and the whole clip, with I think when he was introduced to the female character in it, when they brought that new character into it at the Geoff Keighley thing, which is she is tied. She's tied by an umbilical cord to a baby, but the baby's not in that world, it's in the opposite world.
Yeah.
And that I don't get that bit at the moment. That's playing with my head. But yeah. I don't know.
Well, there's a guy.
Sounds more interesting, but
they had a character trailer where there's a guy, and I hopefully I get this right. There's a guy where he basically every 21 minutes he dies. And then for a while, he kind of is in the astroplane looking for his daughter and his wife, and then he comes out of that, lives for 21 minutes, and then dies again, and then kind of goes through that kind of cycle. This is just going to be bonkers. It's going to be absolutely. We have a release date for this, don't we? It is this year, isn't it? Yeah. It's like October or something, or something
like that. Yeah, no, it is pre-Christmas. Yeah, it's definitely this year.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I need to book that into the calendar. I'm like, right, Death Stranding. So that just looks absolutely fantastic. I'm just trying to kind of Google Death Stranding release date. That is 8th of November.
Okay.
8th of November. Oh, that's going to be so much fun. Cool.
Just in time for Call of Duty for me. So
yes.
And obviously, the other thing we did forget, which I didn't watch, to be honest, was there was a Stadia Connect as well.
Oh, right.
I don't think there was much in it, to be honest. I'm just looking now.
Cyberpunk coming.
Cyberpunk's coming. New Doom Eternal trailer revealed. Mortal Kombat's coming. There was a few other Orcs Must Die 3 is an exclusive game, Destroy All Humans, Grid, Elder Scrolls, Watchdog Legions. There was that game which honestly I think I'm going to cancel my Stadia pre-order. I just don't think I'm going to use it. Not with xCloud around the corner. Until I saw there was this GYLT, a Stadia from Tequila Works.
Right.
That looked quite interesting. That did appeal to me a bit, so I may well just stick into it to get that. But yeah, that obviously went off, and Farming Simulator, which I found out the other day, there is actually an e-league around Farming Simulator.
Oh, wow, really? Wow.
And yeah, and I can't think what I saw it on now, but it was out there. It was as far, it was not aggressive. It was charged as much as a FIFA or Fortnite one would be. Full on e-league. But yeah, there's a massive Farming Simulator e-league.
Wow.
I'll leave you with that.
I wish we didn't have any more news, so I could just leave with that one. I don't know. Is it
Mic drop.
Is it Farming Simulator or Tractor Simulator or something like that? You can get on X Pass at the moment. There's one, isn't there? I'm sure there's farming.
I think it is Farming Simulator 19. You can get. Yeah.
Holy moly. And then finally, the last piece of news is a very quick one. It's just that Sony has bought Insomniac Games. So there was an announcement on, I believe it was Monday, during Geoff Keighley's show. So when all this was happening, when Xbox was sharing their stuff, when Nintendo was showing theirs, and Geoff Keighley was, I think he kind of interrupted halfway through his opening night at Gamescom to just say, and also breaking news, Sony has bought Insomniac Games. So Sony has purchased the California-based game studio Insomniac Games, best known for my game of the year last year, which was Spider-Man on the PS4, and also for a Chesson favourite, which is Ratchet and Clank as well. So they have finally kind of bought that after years of teasing, and Insomniac just basically almost being a first party or second party studio for Sony. I think the only other game they kind of produced outside of that was Sunset Overdrive for Xbox. And then so they have now been bought by Sony, which is absolutely fantastic. I think when I heard this news, obviously it just means that we might not get a Sunset Overdrive, or we might get one on PlayStation 5. But the best news about this is it just gives Insomniac Games a lifeline, not a lifeline that they need it, because after selling 13 million copies of Spider-Man, I'm sure they've got a big old, Sony is sending them a big old dump truck full of cash, but it just means that they can, having Sony behind you must mean that you can do a lot more, that you kind of have access to more tools, resource, money, facilities, all of that sort of stuff. So actually kind of seeing Sony doing the same thing that Microsoft are doing, and potentially, I don't know, used to, I thought this is a kind of also a move that it gives Insomniac everything that it needs to be stable, but also B, it stops Xbox at approaching them as well, because the last thing you would need, even though Sony and Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank are Sony IPs, you would not want Insomniac Games taken from underneath your nose, would you?
No, I mean, to be honest, it surprised me, because I actually thought they owned them anyway. Because of that bromance they've had for such a long time. So yeah, I think for Insomniac it's great because it puts that security, and I know hearing some of the conversations with some of the studios that Microsoft have purchased, that it's not going to change anything. You don't instantly get loads of cash, but you do get a little bit more time to not worry so much about cooking the books and actually developing the games. But yeah, I mean, the cynic inside me probably goes exactly where you've gone, which is Microsoft are being very aggressive, and Microsoft have got a ton more money than Sony Sony as a company. I mean, Sony have got a lot of money. I was at Sony recently, and you forget that Sony actually have an insurance and banking side to their business, and those two sides of their business fund everything else pretty much. We just don't see it over here. So
you can get a Sony credit card with God of War on it. It's just it's just so cool.
People just know. I mean, I digress slightly. We went to look at Sony projectors, and they actually showed us the Sony corporate tree and about what stems off of what. And when we've gone back before, and I know I've said before that Sony PlayStation are nothing to do with Sony TVs, who are nothing to do with Sony Pictures. They just carry the same name. So, but I think Sony have obviously looked at this and gone, there's a lot of money in Spider-Man 2. If they could sort rights out with Marvel, but that's a different story.
No, because Sony owns Spider-Man, don't
Sony
they?
own it.
So
they
don't care. Yeah. That's where it should be. Well, it's not actually where it should be. It should be with Disney.
No, it should be the other way around. But actually, it's nice that Disney doesn't own something, to be honest. But there's obviously a potential there. But yeah, I mean, Microsoft are being quite bullish and have history with that studio, so could have come in and done that, which would have scuppered Sony's ideas for Spider-Man, or might have made Spider-Man cross-platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just when you heard that Spider-Man had sold 13.2 million, you just thought, "Oh my goodness, that's Insomniac made," and it's really interesting that you see this acquisition happening after that, not before it.
Yeah.
But like I say, I just I think it's such a great move, and obviously thinking that it could be like kind of Xbox going, "Well, I'm just going, what about Insomniac?" You can imagine somewhere in Phil Spencer's office there is a list of studios that he wants, and I'm sure Insomniac were kind of high on that list. So to have Sony go, nope, they're ours, and just make sure that they become a first party rather than a second or a third, they're just securing that, because, as I say, Spider-Man was just absolutely fantastic. Ratchet and Clank is just some sublime games.
Ratchet and Clank. Really annoyingly, I lost my save for Ratchet and Clank, the last one.
Oh no!
And I was right at the end. For some reason, I think the PlayStation corrupted, and I have to factory reset it or something.
Right.
I can't think what it was now, but I lost my save for it. But I love that game. That was brilliant. And I also think Insomniac actually do some VR games for Oculus as well. I think they do have a VR side to the business. So there was a few threads on social sort of talking about maybe Sony have also looked at it to acquire some of those titles to put on PSVR.
Yes,
it is still the biggest selling VR headset, and they haven't announced anything. But it is working for them. Could they bring a second one out? That is wirelessly tethered to the console in your lounge, so not like the Oculus, where you can carry it out and it's self-contained unit, but something that's maybe not is Wi-Fi connected. So maybe they've also bought them for their knowledge around VR as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I think the article here is just saying that there's a game called Stormland, which is coming to Oculus Rift, which is a Insomniac game. So absolutely, yeah. And it just says here they haven't released anything for PSVR yet. So yeah, like you say, maybe it's just a quick port of those if they own the IP of those. If it's not an Oculus IP, then yeah, absolutely, that could just be fantastic. Like I say, nothing bad can happen from this. You've got a really good studio, and now with all that funding, so I just was like, fantastic piece of news that kind of came out during Gamescom. That's about it. Phew.
Wow.
We've got through it. It's like a little mini E3, isn't it?
I was going to say we were saying in the week that this is like you were excited on Monday, like was it Monday?
It was, Monday.
You were excited on Monday on the WhatsApp group, like it's like an E3 day, and I said to you it would be a longish pod. I mean, we're recording this now, we're over 2 hours.
Yes.
So, but yeah, there's I mean, a summary. I think there's some really good stuff out there. There's some really good little games, and there's some really interesting stuff coming in the latter part of this month and next year.
Yeah,
and some of that is Death Stranding as well. But I think it's an interesting end to 2019 and a good start to 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to have that little kind of gap just before we start all kind of looking to new shiny. I think that's but I think we've got some really good games that are coming kind of for that, and who knows, they may even be cross-platform. So you kind of what you're playing now on your Xbox One and your PS4, you'll be playing on your PS5 and Xbox Scarlet, but it will look better. Like, so Death Stranding, you play that now on the PS5, you play a better version, you play a higher res version. So who knows? That could be what we're playing now could actually be what we're playing kind of later on with some new stuff, obviously, because everyone needs some new stuff. So that's about it. That's it. I'm looking through the news. That's about it. Yes, excellent stuff. Big thank you for listening. Don't forget you can keep up with us at gamersoflostspark.com. You can also find us on Facebook, on Twitter, we're at Lost Spark Pod. You can find us on YouTube, and also Gamers of the Lost Spark, PS4 Community, and Xbox One Club. Stu, where can people catch up with you?
You can find me you can find me mainly on Gears Pop over the next few days, as a general letdown on Xbox and on PSN, and Mr. Stuart Burgess on Twitter.
Excellent stuff for me. I am Chessman on Xbox Live and Nintendo Switch, PS-Chessman Chessman on the PlayStation Network, and also Chessman UK on Twitter. Don't forget, if you have any feedback, please send it to our email address. That's feedback@gamersonspark.com. Stu Hughes, thank you for pulling up a mic. I'll let you go and play more Gears Pop now.
Yay! See you all. Well, not next week, because we're not here next week, are we? Just to let everybody know. No, just seen that in big red. We're not here next week.
Yes.
Anthony is leaving us and not leaving us in charge.
Yes.
So he's closing the pod down. He's taking his smoking jacket in his new little Mini, and he's going on holiday. Yes. So we won't be here next week, but we'll probably be back the week after. And maybe we'll get James on to talk about his little faux pas.
No, we probably, by that time, he won't want to talk about it. But like, shut up. He'll just sit there and quiet. Yeah, I can't leave you chuckleheads alone on the pod next week. So there is no problem. We'll be back on the 4th of September. Catch you on. Thanks very much. Bye.
See you later. Bye. Sorry, let's do that again. I was looking at something else. Do you want to do this tomorrow? No? Right, ready. Go on, do that again.